listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Does a good job at getting tons of swing and miss.
Jeffers sends it high and deep to left field. Back it goes, and that ball is gone. Ryan Jeffers with his 9th home run, and the Twins strike first.
3 with singles.
Ortiz lines one to left. Ewing coming over, diving, and he makes the catch.
Here to Manny Machado.
And he's swinging 3-0, driving it to deep left field. Back towards the pen, and it is gone. Home run.
And Brandon shoots that deep out to left field. And it actually back to the corner. That one is gone.
Pena sends one to deep left center field. Looking back is the left fielder Hernandez. And that is off the top of the wall and in play. Pena to second base with his 10th double of the year.
Algieri hits it well out towards left center. PCA on the run. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. He is unbelievable. And Robert cranks one deep left field. Forget that. That is way out of here. Up on the concourse. A monumental home run by Luis Robert. Back and back with authority. What a blast.
Good morning. Welcome into Hurrdat Sports.
Why are you yelling?
Welcome into Hurrdat Sports Live.
Good morning.
Presented by Next Gen Mail Medical.
What the world was that?
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here
That's Robbie.
at Hurrdat Sports.
Why do you do that?
That's DB. That's
Ravi.
DB.
EAC, good morning, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
SES, how about you?
Doing swell.
Swell.
What's the E stand for?
I don't know if I'm not going to dox him. It's up to-
Edward.
Oh, there you go.
Scissor face.
Yep.
Actually, the anti-Edward scissor hands, because you have those little Vienna sausage fingers. So you're the anti-Edward scissor. Yeah. I see you with my nubs and my shoes, so I have them. My man is just out here strolling in the parking lot behind me like a creeper.
You mean I've been sitting next to an Eduardo this whole time?
Yes, that is Shane Eduardo.
Damn.
Shane Eduardo Shilashank.
I prefer the two.
My man is just ho strolling in the old parking lot.
Doing what?
I said, Shane, what are you doing?
Like a hoe party?
He's like, just looking at the sunset.
Right.
Sunrise.
Rise.
The sunrise. Like the southwest corner of the parking lot gives a different view than the northwest corner.
Well,
and it's vast.
Well,
I
there's
don't know,
the trees
20
out
yard
there.
by 20 yard. You couldn't see over the trees, bud?
And nobody can.
Oh, wow.
I was imagining it was a line of sight issue
Come on, man. Go out there and take a look.
more than anything. I
And then
don't
this,
spend as much time in that parking lot as Shane does. So
this very fast walking lady was apparently going to her office, and she's walking across the parking lot too. And I said, "Hey, Shane, you good back there?" And she said, "What? Huh? What?" I said, "Oh, no, I was just talking to my producer. Good morning." She said, "Oh, I didn't see him." I said, "Don't worry, nobody does."
right over top.
He was hiding behind the
He's hiding behind the trees.
He was hiding behind the lower third.
Just look for the puff of smoke.
Yeah.
It's like when you're looking for a new pope. Just look for the smoke, and you'll find Shane.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Is that the black? Is that the black thing?
Yeah, the black smoke versus the white smoke was when you have I don't know which one's which, but one of them means you have a pope. One of them means you didn't get one.
EAC, what do you know? Do you know anything about Pope and smoke?
I think the white smoke means there's a new pope.
Okay. Where is?
We can Google. Austin's back there.
So there's a new pope every time I go on.
No,
vape?
are you? The light was on when I got here, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's here. I saw him.
Oh, Jimmy Neutron, are you here?
Yes, Queen.
Oh Lord. Oh, he's back. He took a couple of days off of Snark, but he's back.
You were right, Ravi. White smoke, new pope. Black smoke, no new pope.
Of course, black bad.
Black
White
is
good.
bad. White is
Yep,
good.
I know.
Some people would argue that black just
Robbie knows
indicates
all about that.
that the Democratic process. Good job.
Choked your chicken.
That I don't want you to do that.
That's yours.
Some would argue that the black smoke just indicates that the democratic election process of the Pope is just working as intended.
Thank you, EAC.
That's a positive.
Look at my man. Oh my gosh, the army crawl. Oh my God, we have flying chickens. Chickens can't fly, you know. I feel like
turkeys can a little bit.
Is this Boone going to anchor down?
No, he'll be all right. I think he's a little bottom heavy.
Yeah.
I think they have like a little extra weight in there.
When you
know
were you ever not economically advanced enough to not eat the back? Did you ever eat chicken backs?
What's a chicken back?
Have you ever seen a chicken neck? You never seen the back
sandwich.
I don't. I'm not.
People
familiar.
discard those now.
I'm not familiar with a chicken back.
Yeah. Did you ever eat the chicken neck?
No.
No, it's not a ton of meat.
It looks pretty gross. Chicken backs.
Yeah. Have you ever seen it fried?
Nope.
Yeah, it's very bony.
It looks pretty gross.
It's very bony.
To my knowledge, I've never eaten chicken back or neck.
Well, sometimes people miscut parts of the breast when they're trying to be cheap. You're like, oh man, this feels like part of the back.
I could see that. Maybe that's happened by accident.
Oh.
I've heard of chicken necks. I haven't heard of chicken backs.
Back in the day. Where is fried chicken on your pantheon of foods?
I love good fried chicken.
Do you?
I do think there's a pretty high variance in fried chicken.
Correct.
So just because of that, overall it goes lower.
Yeah.
I like a high ceiling or a high floor on my food. So like if I order something, I'm just know like, hey, this is gonna be pretty good. But
there's a grocery store around town that has fairly good food. Like if you'd go to like eat there, but the fried chicken is horrid.
I think I know which place that is.
And I'm like, this just doesn't fit with the rest of what's going
of what you got going on there.
Like you need to take a look at some of these other stores and do what they're doing.
When I was a kid, one of my favorite things, I go grocery shopping with my mom.
Yeah.
And she'd get me like
what'd she say? She'd say, hey, Ravi, would you like to, did your mom call you Ravi as a kid? Were you Peanut? Were you Nuck Nuck? Like,
it was usually what is either Ravi or Sunshine.
Oh, you are my sunshine.
Well, that's
my only sunshine.
My name means sun in Hindi and Sanskrit, so that was kind of just like a little
Oh God, that's too deep. I just wanted it to be a cute little thing, like you brighten everybody's day. I didn't.
Well, clearly everybody knows that.
Indeed.
I brighten everyone's day.
Very cloudy, very doom and gloomy.
That's why you come to work
every single day. Shower thoughts this morning. It was like, oh, fresh off a night of rain. I think I need to see L3 and brighten my day. No, I'm just gonna say that never remotely crossed my mind.
I think that happens to a lot of people. They're like, who needs a little ray of sunshine? Let's get Ravi in our lives.
First thing I did was
my sunshine.
That used to be my jam. That was one of my favorite commercials ever. Shane, I sent you that 80s commercial thing, didn't I?
You are my.
Yes, you did.
It's great. I mean, you weren't with us, but some of those commercials are just legendary.
Some of the 80s stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
remember 80s commercial.
I don't remember anything like before early 90s.
Yeah. So, like, was your go-to commercial like?
You're not fully clean unless you're fully clean.
I know that jingle.
You know that?
Yeah, I know that jingle.
Shane, how many of those can you rip off? Finish it with Rico.
I got nothing.
That's weak.
Really? That's Big Red. Go ahead. Let it finish.
So I recognize it but I wasn't going to be able to come up with it.
Shane, do another one. This is kind of fun because they're kids.
Break me off a piece of that Kit Kat bar.
Very good.
That's Oscar Mayer.
Very good. Shane, one more.
Waking up is Folgers in your cup. I know that one.
Shoot. All right, we'll give it one more. We got one more in the hopper, Shane.
I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a toy.
Toys R Us kid. I knew that one. I don't want to grow up.
Come on, sausage fingers, cut the music.
I knew that one. Mentos.
Pretty good.
Yeah, I knew that one. So I don't know that one.
Oh, it's all in the title.
My buddy?
Yes. You never had a My Buddy? You're probably traumatized. You'd be traumatized as a kid. It was like Chucky before Chucky. You think they got Chucky from My Buddy? Which one came out first? My Buddy, the kid, or Chucky?
I would say My Buddy.
My buddy,
My sisters had like Cabbage Patch dolls, so that was kind of their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are expensive now.
Are they?
I mean, some.
Man, we should have held on to those.
I used to collect the cards when I was a kid.
The Cabbage Patch. They had cards.
Yeah,
we playing cards.
We trade cards in elementary.
Yeah,
they were sticker cards.
Nice.
Thank you, Mr. Specific.
Feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight.
Oh, I know that one. I don't know what the brand is. Feel like chicken tonight.
Suave's gonna say, "I got nothing."
Do you know that one? What is it?
Jimmy Neutron.
Yes, Queen.
Jeez. That's it. Shane, let it play. I'm not.
Feel like chicken tonight, like chicken tonight, chicken tonight.
What's the commercial, Shane?
Oh God, what was that? That's all I have in there of it.
I believe that's Lionel Richie.
Whoa!
What?
Whoa! Wow, something about the gloss on his lips. Why would that be a Lionel Richie thing?
Oh, so Chicken Tonight is the name of the brand.
It is.
Yeah. There's sauces. This was one of the things that I felt was deceptive about commercials when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Whether it was like Hamburger Helper or like Chicken Tonight sauces or whatever.
Hamburger Helper with the little white glove.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not giving you most of the ingredients.
Yeah, I know.
I felt that was very deceptive.
Yeah, you're like, oh, how come it doesn't look like this?
Yeah, or they're like, why would you call something Hamburger Helper when there's no hamburger in? You're not selling me hamburger.
Because they're helping you to enhance your hamburger.
I knew he was going to say something
I get
literal.
you're only selling the helper, but like
exactly.
I feel like having hamburger
think, like, the
in
steakums came with the bread.
I thought having no, because it's just steakums. It's not. Here's a Philly steak sandwich. Just kidding. It's just the steak.
Just kidding.
That's kind of
they're doing the hard part. All you have to do is brown hamburger. They've got the seasoning, the noodles. All you have to do is brown hamburger.
Okay,
and
but
then
think about this.
Throw some water and toss the noodles and the seasoning in.
You just described a lot of steps there. If you're a kid and you don't really understand,
he really did,
and you're, I caught at least 4, and none of them was put it in the microwave, so I'm out.
I cannot stand you.
Once you hit me with like you got to brown some meat and boil water, I'm out.
You don't even you brown the meat. That's like the hardest part, right?
I don't know if I could imagine Ravi standing over an oven and a skillet with some raw meat.
Nah, not about that life.
I just don't think you could do it.
I mean, I'm sure I could if I needed to, but I don't.
What's the hardest thing you've had to cook?
I have a question. Hang on. I have a question.
Yeah.
When's the last time you've taken from something that's unedible
like
until
raw.
You cook it?
Oh, it's been years.
And I don't mean putting noodle. Do you put noodles in water?
No, I don't boil water. Why would I do that?
This dude's a full functioning adult.
Definitely since I like from raw ingredients to a meal.
Yeah.
Definitely before I met Natasha. I have not done that since I've lived with Natasha. I did it not very.
Could you do it?
Depends on what it is. I could do like eggs. I can make eggs.
Robbie, if I asked you to make like pork chops, rice, and like I don't know, broccoli.
Rice is tricky. Rice is kind of tricky to cook unless you have a rice cooker. Like rice is a little tricky to cook.
It's actually pretty easy to do without a rice cooker, but that's fine.
Yeah, it only takes a minute.
It's a different kind of rice.
You don't need a microwave either.
You
need a pot, some boiling water, and a shit ton of salt.
Also, I'm just going to be honest with you, Rico. You come, much like my father, from a rice-eating people.
Oh, wow.
He does. This is true.
My
dad has like an innate sense on how to cook rice that I don't understand. And I wonder if Rico has that too from the South American side of the border, the southern part of the U.S. side of the border.
I have a question.
Yeah.
And this sounds like so 1960s. If you weren't married, how would you eat?
I would just go out to eat all the time. That's what I mean, that's mostly what I had a few options. Okay. So I did a small amount of cooking by myself, mostly like I would brown, usually like ground turkey or something like that, or whatever. The other thing, I would do eggs and breakfast meats on my own. I actually do a pretty good job of like cooking a steak indoors. I know that's like blasphemy to you.
It's I have a couple of cast iron skillets that I like.
If you've got a good cast iron, it's
although TikTok tells me that I need a good nonstick.
So
I don't know.
I would use cast iron, and because my dad had an extra one, so he sent it with me. So I can make like a steak that I like. Obviously you got to start with a good cut. That's a big part of it. But like I'll season it up pretty well. I'll get a little bit of the crust on there. Like I do a pretty good job with a steak if I have to. I'm better with meat than I am other things. Like I'm not going to be able to do rice very well. I can figure out pasta, but I don't love it. I don't know what it is. I don't like boiling water. Like I just don't like having the process.
Do you consider it a waste of time, or?
Yeah, it just seems so like it's very tedious to like wait for the water to boil, and then you got the stuff just sitting there. Like if I'm cooking,
you couldn't imagine putting anything in a microwave for more than 7 minutes, right?
God, no. What are we doing? No.
Yeah, that's
it's like 3 minutes tops.
Pretty first world.
3 minutes tops on a microwave situation.
This is fascinating.
So I feel like you could air fryers. Are you down with those?
I would be. I don't have one. Natasha doesn't like how they look on the counter.
Wow, they don't look great.
Yeah, that's actually not a hot take. Like
No.
She's very like counter aesthetic. Like so she doesn't like stuff on the counters. And she's like, if you want an air fryer, we have to get rid of one of your other appliance things, and I'm not willing to give up the pizzazz.
Do you guys have open dialogue about that?
Yeah, I'm very aware of what the situation is.
I was just curious because when my wife didn't like all my cooking tools, one just got sold, so there wasn't a lot of conversation.
Yeah, you probably
thing was just on the move. Guy pulls up in a white van. It's like I had the kids.
Hey,
it's like, no, give me your
Blackstone.
Give me your Blackstone.
No, she's been very clear that if I want an air fryer, they have certain ones that look a little better than others, so she wants one of those, and I would have to get rid of probably my pizza pizzazz, which I'm not willing to do.
Jeremy, that is very over exaggerated.
What?
He called Chambliss Levante David 2.0. He's that important, and I usually always agree with Jeremy, but
that seems aggressive.
Nope. It's not that.
That's aggressive.
It's not that.
I also used to do meal prep services.
Yes.
Would help with the like feeding myself.
Shane, do you remember in my former life where I did an endorsement for that company that like they brought you meals?
Yeah.
That was very much what's the word? Very kind of like Hamburger Helper sold you a bill of goods.
Oh yeah. I've had one that was really good.
But I mean, it just depends if you like your food seasoning.
Yeah, I had one that was pretty good that I enjoyed.
What's the question, Arch? Then why isn't he? So this happens. Sometimes we're having conversations and the chat says, do we call them the chat?
Yeah.
It's not the stream?
I mean, you can call them whatever you want. Streamers, chatters.
Is it the chatters? Good morning, chat.
Good morning to the podcast folks as well.
Good morning, podcasters, even if you're listening to this later on in the day and it's not the morning.
However you may be joining us, however you may be listening. Thanks for making us part
my
of your
man
day.
Double B can crack me at some point on social media later on in the day.
That's my favorite, is that when I just get random notifications about somebody making fun of something that we said 8 hours ago.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the best.
By the way, on the Discord,
gotcha.
Shane did play the drop yesterday.
No, I know. We agreed to that. At least I conceded. I don't know if you did.
I haven't gone back and listened yet. I need to listen for myself.
Yeah, I had.
Can I get a timestamp?
This is weird. I didn't rock with you, Rico, and I probably should have because I mean it's fine. But once Bruin Steve said he said it, like he's very careful about stuff like that.
I know he killed you yesterday too, though. I forgot what he said, but he got you on some.
I mean, he's good for once a day. I don't mind though. I mean, I can take as good as I give.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's actually funny.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, sometimes it's funny.
Sometimes
I let Kobe call me a jackass, and I still said I'd hang out with him. He's mean every day. Kobe, by the way, I did once I saw the rain on the deck. I was like, "Oh shoot, are the valves on my smoker closed?"
Where you're like, I gotta go grill.
No, but it is a good day to be outside.
I know it wasn't bad yesterday.
For some reason,
nice.
Micah said he wants like something with mashed potatoes. I'm like, come on, man.
I'm very seasonal with mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes are fire, but what I would like to do, nah, that'd be doing too much. I guess it's not gonna be too hot though, so I don't mind using the oven.
I'm a very hot weather food versus cold weather food.
Good mashed potatoes are an elite side.
I agree. I think mashed potatoes are very good.
I would put them in the elite category.
They're not one of my they're not as high on my potato tier rankings as other things.
Yeah.
But they're very good. Like a bad version of a potato is still better than most foods. Like in bad in the sense of hold on. Bad as in the sense of not my favorite version of it, not like actually poorly prepared. So like if I like au gratin,
is potato the starch of choice?
For me, most of the time, yeah.
Greater than noodle, currently greater than rice, obviously.
I like rice. I just rice is really hard to properly give myself insulin for without it spiking my blood sugar.
Yeah, I listened to a guy that does a podcast.
I haven't cracked that.
It's called Fair or Foul.
Yeah.
And he's diabetic. And so sometimes it's not just sports takes. It's, like he ate this was just like 3 days ago. He ate a breakfast McMuffin from Burger King and gauged the sugar spike.
Yeah.
And it was very minimal. And so he was saying like, hey, popular belief, whatever. He's like, this was the spike. So now I wouldn't recommend this daily, but every now and again, it's not gonna. So he does that sometimes with.
Yeah, there's certain foods that for whatever reason, like even if they will spike me, like I have a better grasp on how much it's gonna be and how much insulin I'm gonna need. Rice, for whatever reason, I don't know if it always is just because there's always more of it than you think.
Are you out? So like if you had to go Greek, Italian, Indian, Chinese, Mexican, slot those for me.
I really like Italian food. So it's Greek, Italian, Mexican, Chinese, Indian.
Yeah.
I probably go Italian, Chinese, Indian, Mexican, Greek. I really only like gyros from Greek places. Like I just like the gyro meat.
That's it.
Almost everything else that I've had, and this is I know
it's kind of fire.
I've been to lots of Greek restaurants. I don't like almost anything else that's like traditional Greek food. There's some places that'll give you like good fries and stuff like that, but I don't really like that. Just feels like they're Americanizing it for me, which is I'm cool with. But outside of the gyro meat, like I don't have that much interest in Greek food.
I'm down. Mexican is down the list for me too.
I like Mexican food, but I think it's a sort of low ceiling, low floor food.
Low ceiling, low floor. So it's never gonna be great.
But it can be really bad.
Really bad.
Like it can be pretty good. There's versions of Mexican food that I think are pretty good.
Now, I will say my favorite restaurant locally to get Mexican is top tier in terms of restaurants.
Fair.
It is.
I feel like Mexican food
sensational
can only be so good, and I don't feel that way about the ones ahead of it.
Listen,
yeah, I know you don't like Italian food.
I went there with Coach, the Mexican place I'm talking about. Because he had yet to find good Mexican since he'd been here. How do you not find good Mexican in 3.5 years? It's everywhere.
Yeah. Well,
no, it's not. I know.
I would say there's a lot of places that are.
We closed that place down.
Was that a food or a drink situation?
Well, it got to be drinks, but early on it was the food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we just kept it coming.
I also sort of I think the best version of Mexican food that I usually have is most of the time. I don't want to say.
Are you getting into the authentic thing?
No. Well, I mean, I'm a Tex-Mex over authentic Mexican person. I just am. Like, I just think I enjoy Tex-Mex better.
I don't Tex-Mex.
But also, if you're gonna go authentic, my best authentic Mexican food experiences are usually not like in restaurants. It's like a food truck or it's like more street food.
Yeah.
And
believe me, I'm your Mexican food truck guy.
that is a sort of different
I just went 0 for 3 on Saturday.
like experience for me than like, hey, I'm going to this restaurant. It's like, oh, I'm gonna run by this food truck real quick and grab some food. It feels more even like fast food adjacent than it does like, hey, this is a sit down situation.
I don't even know why that's funny, except I could hear Kobe saying it. Just very strong opinions from the Cobster.
I think
Hey, for our podcast listeners, Damon, can you say what Kobe said?
Yes, Kobe said just bad after bad food take from Ravi today. And Juan is like, yes, Kobe.
I'm going to be honest. You keep talking. I tuned you out. Your food takes are real bad right now.
DB, you should have seen Ravi yesterday. We went to a movie and he was
So the nice guy continues to slay you. And you keep telling me how nice he is.
I say he's a good guy. I don't think I've ever said he's nice. That's different.
Oh, did you guys just all go see the Odyssey?
We did.
We
But
went to the Odyssey.
Ravi was super pumped for the popcorn, and he literally floated like a cartoon character into the AMC to get his popcorn.
Are you one of those guys like there's good popcorn? Nothing beats good popcorn.
I love movie theater popcorn. And Austin left out maybe the most important part. I was, and I'll throw myself under the bus here. I was straight up giddy when I realized it was a like self-serve popcorn butter situation and not they had to do it for you.
Oh, you haven't been to the movies in a while. You go over to the station, you get the salt, the butter, you get the whole thing.
So most of the places that I go to are
where do you go?
Well, I've been to like the one over by the
Alamo.
Yeah, the one over by the restaurant. The one over by where you used to live. It used to be 20 grand. The
Marcus?
Majestic.
Oh yeah, Majestic.
I go to that one. I go to and then
Majestic has self-serve.
Not last time I was there. I was there.
Yeah, it's over by the drink station.
Are you sure?
They have this. They have the salt and like the flavored salt. I don't think they have the.
They don't have like the liquid butter.
But the butter dispenser is at the end of the counter.
I don't think so anymore.
I think the main concession. Listen, I might be tripping. I'm tripping.
I think they used to. I think they took it out. I don't think the actual like liquid butter's there anymore.
Well, they think people are going to abuse the pump.
I don't know.
Yes,
I have to
100%.
That's going to be it's going to be picture of the year, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
I enjoy the mythology and stuff going into
Me too.
it. So
it's not my favorite time period, but it is right there. I always struggle because it's not real. But what do you call the period of like Game of Thrones?
Oh, I sort of just toss it into medieval, even though it's not a real part of like it's not even supposed to
like
technically
the
be
Hobbit, like stuff like that. I love mythology. I've seen even bad mythology like Wrath and Clash of the Titans
are not that bad.
But
if there's a bad genre,
I watch Percy Jackson.
Doesn't that just fall under fantasy?
Yeah, but
I get it.
Feels like it, like especially Game of Thrones feels. I put Lord.
I like dragons and cauldrons and.
I feel you on that. I keep looking for books around those time periods I can read.
Like I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, but that doesn't. So the weird part about Game of Thrones for me is it feels like it's.
I never watched it.
It feels like it's supposed to be set in some version of our world, even with all the extra stuff.
I feel super incomplete.
I
know, KJ. I get it.
Whereas, like, I never felt like Lord of the Rings.
It's this time of period that doesn't really exist.
No, but like for some reason, I separate that and like Lord of the Rings, which feels more grounded in. I mean, I guess I don't know. They're very. Lord of the Rings feels like closer to what would be our time period to me. Like I think Lord of the Rings is like 1800s for some reason.
Yeah.
And I think of Game of Thrones as like Middle Ages, like in the 1200s or something. I don't know why.
Who was no spoiler alerts. Who was your favorite character?
Travis Scott.
Big Astro World guy, huh?
It's his best movie to date.
Probably is. My favorite character.
Are you an antagonist, protagonist guy?
It really depends on the movie. I think I'm leaning pretty heavy. He's not in it a ton, so no spoilers. But
John Leguizamo.
He was good. I think I'm leaning.
What'd you call him? The wise beggar?
Yeah, he's got a name, but it's difficult to pronounce. I think I'm leaning pretty heavy. I really like Menelaus in that movie. John Bernthal.
Yeah.
I also really like. Do
you like Tom Holland? Were you Telemachus guy?
I didn't. I think he played the role well. That character's a little whiny for a lot of the movie, or for a lot of like the story, for my taste.
Hey, Austin, were you a little taken aback that Helena Troy was a sister?
Was whose sister?
Was a sister. Oh my God.
Oh.
Wow.
That's one of the first times in the show that was an unintentional joke.
Now, you said a lot of things that are very.
It did sound like you said his sister.
Thank you, Rico.
It did. The greatest peanut gallery glazer in America. Like, it did. I'm gonna come alongside.
No, he was talking like Train.
Fudge.
Hey, no.
But
What?
no, before we even got to the movie, Ravi and I were talking about all that it's a story, and she's never described in any certain way, shape, or form. So she stated it in the intentional like writing of it, or the poem by Homer, as the most beautiful woman in Greece, essentially.
And that's about it. Like, he doesn't give like real specific.
Most beautiful woman in Greece couldn't have been black.
No, that's why we're saying we didn't.
Dark complexion.
That's why we're saying it didn't bother us the way it bothered some people.
You guys rocking with Athena? You know that's my girl.
I thought she did a good job in the movie. Yeah,
she's a great actress.
Yeah, I thought she did a really good job in the movie.
Pup, although she's not a pup anymore.
No, but she's been really good for a long time. Like, she's been since she was young.
Yeah, she came out of her shell. And what's the weird movie with the kids where they all do the drugs?
Oh, you mean the show?
Yeah.
It's on HBO.
Yeah.
Euphoria.
Yeah. Like that.
No, she's really good. Like, she's really, really good. What?
I'm just going back to the sister thing, what everybody heard. Shane, you can roll back that clip and see if EAC and everybody A-Train and everybody else is correct.
Headley says all the kids do the drugs.
Yeah, that show is wild.
No,
I didn't even. It was too heavy.
Yeah, I didn't watch. I
think it's multiple seasons.
It is.
It just ended.
Finished the third, I think, which was the last one.
I probably watched 7 episodes.
Yeah, I think it's over now.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I watched 7 episodes, but
I've never watched a single one.
Depth. I was like, OBJ should get back at it. She was a little young the first time around, but go back but now she's.
Don't do that to our guy Tom Holland.
She's pot committed.
Yeah, they're all in. You leave them alone.
Who was your favorite character, Suave?
I haven't watched it yet.
I knew Daniel would be the guy.
I did rewatch Troy though.
I don't hate the movie, but I don't get some of the art choices they make for changes to classic stories. Creative licensing, Daniel. Creative licensing. He and Sabir would go round and round.
Also,
Sabir's like that too.
Like, for what it's worth, this is an ancient text that is,
I know,
written in a version of a language.
It's just not what we've grown. The story that we've grown up.
Yeah, like his classic text is probably one version of one translation that he considers like the Penguin version of the text, right?
Yeah,
and that's just not an act.
Sometimes you are exceptionally bright.
Well, this is from the theology part of me. Like, it's very similar in the way we treat ancient texts. We're not good at it.
Yeah, no, I'm creative license. I'm just
there's a lot of words in ancient languages that we don't have good approximations for.
Yeah,
and so yes, there is like I I was telling Austin this yesterday. Like I read the Iliad and the Odyssey I know they're in Greek originally, but in Latin. And I find that version of it much different than the English translation because I feel like Latin has better grasp on the ancient languages than English does, even though it's not in the original Greek, right? And so like there's way more wiggle room in these things than we give it credit for. So like I understand it may not be like, hey, this is the version of it I read in high school or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's an unfaithful adaptation for like 98% of it.
Amazing, Dan. You should see the adaptation I just watched of The Animal Farm. Definitely not the book we read.
Big George Orwell guy.
Not 1984, but I liked Animal Farm.
Yeah. That's Orwell, right?
Yeah. Round robin. Jimmy Neutron. I'm most afraid to ask. I want to be very clear. Anne Hathaway, under or overrated?
Under. If those are my options, under.
EAC, Anne Hathaway, over or underrated?
Extremely underrated.
Oh, you're gonna make it a trifecta, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I think she's a phenomenal actress. Like
how many awards will she win?
She should definitely be nominated. I'm guessing she'll be best supporting. I don't know that anybody in the movie besides Matt Damon's in it enough to get like a full lead actress nom, although maybe she does. She'll definitely get that, or definitely be nominated for that. Damon will be nominated for best actor. The film will be nominated. Nolan will be nominated. They're going to win a bunch of technical awards.
Yeah.
It's like there's a chance this thing cleans up hard.
Wait a minute. Juan, did you just say you joke a ton. You're like by choice reading 1984? Just bored or?
I probably wouldn't go back and revisit that one.
My man just said, I'm reading 1984 now. Why, Juan?
Yeah. I read it in high school when I had to, and then
that would be a terrible books on tape. There's no good way to read that.
No, there's not. I'm a big audiobook guy. I love audiobooks.
That's it. All right. What did my man he say? Austin looks more like a muscular Anne Hathaway. Of course he will like her. Kobe, that's an insane take, Heath.
That may have been tongue in cheek, guys. If I'm, if you allow me to interpret a little.
So you guys chose going to see the Odyssey as a group, which is cute, by the way. Part of me is very envious that I'm never invited to the powwows, but I'll probably never say yes. So feel free to not invite me.
I'll say this is definitely one of those you want to be invited, but you're certainly not.
I just don't know if I would go to a movie with a bunch of my friends.
Yeah, I like going to movies. I don't really care who I go with.
I believe in watching television in silence.
It was also, I will say, part of the selling point because Austin saw it this weekend. And
Action Jackson, you went twice in a couple of days?
Oh yeah.
So that was part of I wanted to go see it and I was trying to figure out a time, but he was so eager to see it again. I was like, oh, I better go see this thing.
Yeah.
Like if you go see the movie like twice in 3 days, like you love that movie.
Okay.
So I was in. I was like, all right, let's do it.
I gotta find a babysitter so me and the wife can go watch it.
Rach, does she like that time period?
Yeah. I don't know if she actually likes it or she just puts up with it because of me, but I do believe she actually likes it.
Is she considerably smarter than you? Because she seems like it. I don't know. That might just be a bit you play.
I would probably. Yeah.
Would you concur?
I think they're smart in different ways.
Yeah. Not to belittle you. I'm just
I think Rico.
I did give you the wiggle.
No,
room
you're not. No, it's
bit.
fine. No, she's.
Yeah.
I do believe she's considerably smarter than me. I do hope that our children got her brains.
I think
they're still naughty, right? So they're mostly you.
I mean, they're my kids, so yeah.
Okay. She's definitely very bright. I think Rico is A, smarter than he lets on, and B, is smart in different ways than his wife is.
That's very kind.
Just different forms of intelligence.
I can't believe you guys chose going to the movies as a group as opposed to watching or paying attention to SEC Media Days.
I was paying attention to SEC Media Days. Don't worry.
I think they're hysterical.
I got some real thoughts on good old Eli Drinkwitz, who can't count to 9, apparently.
I don't even know if he was the most outlandish.
What a dumbass. What do you think was?
I mean, that's tough to top.
That's tough to beat. That's tough to beat.
But the more he spoke, I was like, somebody cut this guy off.
Yeah, what the hell are you talking about? Just moronic.
I liked Kirby Smart. It's a shame that he and Lane are so close.
Oh, because you think like that could get.
Well, I think he has some real thoughts on how Lane does things.
Sure.
And they tried to kind of pin him down a little bit. So one of the reporters referred to him as a troll, and you know, Kirby like laughed it off. He's like, "Well, what's a troll?" You might say, "I look like a troll." And he's like,
"Yeah, he's pretty squirmy, like when he needs to be."
Yeah,
like it's hard to nail him down.
I wouldn't mind. It's just I always pay such close attention because I like for you consistency in there consistency in the message.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think Kirby's one of the most consistent in the messages in the country.
Yeah, and
I find it, despite like really not enjoying Georgia, I find it really hard not to like Kirby Smart.
Well, he's outstanding.
Like just outside of obviously being really good at what he does, because that that's never been a factor for me. Because Dabo was really good at what he did for a long time, and I always hated him.
Yeah,
but like I find him very likable, and I think he's a good dude. Like that is more of it. Like I think he's a good person.
Anybody surprised that Sankey is doubling down on autonomy from governing bodies? It's fascinating.
He's so dumb.
See, I don't know.
I think so. Because here's the thing. You know how easy it is to just call that bluff?
My favorite is condescending Ravi when it's not even at me. It's just like, yeah, he is. Like, we don't know.
So I said, yeah, I think he is, to be fair.
Yeah.
You know how easy it is to just call his bluff? That's why it's stupid.
What do you mean? Just like bounce?
No, just be like, okay, go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like, because they're not going to. And if they do, that's the end of their conference. No one outside of the region, they're already having this problem because they're too regional.
Yeah.
So if they double down.
It's definitely an issue.
And that's why they don't make as much money as the Big Ten now.
It's definitely an issue.
Right? Like they were leading by a lot in terms of money earned like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And the Big Ten has quickly caught up because they went national and the Southeastern Conference was like, we will go all the way to Texas. And so they are super duper regional. There's only so much money to be made regionally.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they break off, they become even more regional because they're not even competing against the rest of the country.
Yeah. Who's the northernmost state? South Carolina? Is South Carolina higher on the topography map than
Tennessee? Maybe Tennessee. I think Tennessee's it's close. I think Tennessee's next to North Carolina.
Yeah, that would
so that'd be a little bit
bottom, north, south.
Would be a little bit further north. Well, I'm trying to remember if it's next to North Carolina or South Carolina. I understand North Carolina is further north than South Carolina. I couldn't.
Guys, are you forgetting about Missouri?
Is Missouri further north than Tennessee?
It's.
I think it's close.
Are they parallel?
I mean, the school might, but the state is.
No, I get the state. I'm talking about the actual school because it doesn't matter like what the rest of the state is. Really.
He said, "Guys, Rico, can you make an emotional plea for us to understand geography again, please?"
Okay. Yeah, like I feel like it's still. That'd be like Kentucky.
It's north, and
it'd be like Kentucky and Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Kentucky's further north also.
Correct.
I think Columbia is the furthest north because Kentucky, it's at the very top of Kentucky. I also, to be fair, I do forget Missouri's an SEC school all the time because they're mostly just cosplaying as an SEC school. They're pretending it's not real.
They have waffle houses that makes them south,
and the rest of. The rest of the SEC thinks the same thing. Let's not kid ourselves.
Every time I hear cosplay, it's like, chicky, wow, wow. Like, I don't.
Other people use it in other ways now.
Keep going.
People use it in other ways now.
I was going to address Rico's look.
Don't do that.
He'll get you in trouble.
No, I think you would just call her bluff. Just say, yeah, go for it. Good luck. See how much appeal, because I think this would just be a larger version. I don't even think ESPN wants this, right? Because this is just a larger version of what we saw happen with Texas with the Longhorn Network.
Yeah.
Texas way overvalued itself and was like, we don't need anybody else. We'll have our own network. Guess how that went? Nobody watched that thing. Not a soul, not even Texas fans, right? And so you've got this super regional conference trying to make itself even more isolated from the rest of the country, which is what its problem has been in the first place. You don't need more fans in the Southeast. You have that covered. The rest of the country doesn't like you, and if you give them no reason to pay attention to you, they will happily do so.
And it just seems like it's such a weird flex when you've intentionally alienated yourself.
Yeah. This isn't even a good bluff because there is no leverage in the bluff. The SEC needs the NCAA more than the NCAA needs the SEC right now. I truly believe
Unless you're assuming there's enough money in that part of the country that would be self-sustaining for your own peninsula. But no.
But even then, it doesn't have to be.
Not, though.
I would say, A, there's not, because we're already seeing it fall behind, right? Like, I think that's already been clear. And second,
clear.
You have to worry about not only having enough money to self-sustain, but you have to have enough money to outbid people that actually want to play for a national championship instead of just being your weird little league over here. So, like, I actually think you're going to have to overpay for prospects and for recruits and things like that. And then how does the transfer portal work? You're going to self-govern on eligibility and all that kind of stuff because whatever money that you think you're self-sustaining now has to go to administrative costs that you're not currently paying that the NCAA takes care of.
Yeah.
Unless you're just going to let it be a free-for-all, and then your conference will die even faster. Like, this is a really dumb take by Sankey.
And you have, outside of, Will Stein, that was because of me, man. Good because of me. I actually have to give that context. I just don't want to soundbite him. It came off as very...
It sounded like he was trying to do his best Signetti impression.
Yeah. So you have Will Stein on, I think they were Monday. Drink was yesterday.
Yep.
Today is DeBoer, Golding, Elko, and Summerall. Who will be the most fascinating? DeBoer, Summerall, Golding, and it's a shame that Ole Miss and LSU weren't on the same day.
Yeah, that would have been fun.
Yeah, Golding gives zero cares, and neither does the train.
Golding could be really, really interesting.
I think Elko will be the best statesman.
I agree. Either Elko or DeBoer's pretty good at that.
I wouldn't mind Elko being up there. He hasn't been in the conference long enough, but I wouldn't mind Elko being a statesman, getting the Kirby Smart treatment for the conference as a representative.
He seems more in that mold than most of the other coaches. I would agree.
And he's very
I would agree.
He's very self-aware, in his messaging.
Yeah.
He's ridiculously brilliant.
I would agree. I think he's really good at if you're good enough to navigate the sort of snake pit that is Texas A&M, you're good enough to be a statesman, a representative of the SEC.
How about this tomorrow? Rico, I can see you, so you can't really look it up, but Austin can, so I won't ask him. What is Arkansas's coach name?
Yes.
Ravi?
You got me. I don't know.
I'm not even going to ask Shane. That would be Ryan Silverfield.
John Calipari.
Memphis. They hired him from Memphis. There it is. Yeah. Right.
How you feel like Arkansas feels going with Lane Kiffin, or even Jeff Lebby's going to be like, but Lebby has a name because of his coordinating prowess.
Yeah.
And then Sark. That's tomorrow. Ryan Silverfield.
It's going to be crazy when Silverfield sounds the best out of all four of them.
Well, and he's a good coach.
He is a good coach. Like as soon as you said him,
those breakout sessions.
Yeah.
Is anybody going to go listen to my man?
I'm sure there's a Fayetteville reporter that'll be there. That might be it.
I just think it's fascinating.
How big is the Lane Kiffin crowd?
Tomorrow's going to be a circus, and LSU goes with Texas.
That'll be fun.
So Sark and Lane talk on the same day.
All of the Alabama
Somebody's
XOCs.
going to say something that...
Yeah, just ridiculous.
Why didn't the SEC give us what we all wanted?
Because even
Pete Golding and Lane Kiffin on the same day.
Right. But even yesterday was pretty measured because you had Golish, who's not going to say anything crazy. He's, tough guy, like disciplined. Kirby Smart, super self-aware. Shane Beamer is a treat. People forget that he's actually maybe back on the uptick. And Clark Lee, who
I love Clark Lee.
Probably graduated summa cum laude.
Yeah, Clark Lee's really, really good at what he does.
He's exceptionally bright.
Yeah, I like Clark Lee a lot.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievably smart.
You've been there, haven't you?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah.
He presented and I'm thinking, this has got to be over the kids' heads.
Mm-hmm.
Very philosophical.
How does that hit with like 19-year-olds?
I mean, that's kind of who he's recruiting.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, you're at Vanderbilt. I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
You got a pretty high admittance standard.
I mean,
I just wonder sometimes, like, not all people of that age like being talked to
I get
in
it.
that way. You know,
I get it.
And I don't mean like in a negative way. That's just like that's not how they process information.
I get it. So the Odyssey greater than SEC Media Days.
Yeah.
Yeah, your boy I was turning up the volume. I was clicking.
I was mostly following along SEC Media Days during the day on Twitter.
Yeah,
like just getting the clips and things like that.
So sometimes that can get you in trouble. So you have to kind of go back and see. But I think it's fascinating about the mixed messages.
It usually gives
it's much different than the Big Ten Conference, even though a lot of the same people are there.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't say a lot of the national media.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
But it's very much a different tenor.
It is. And we've talked about this before, though.
Because it's the most heavily populated. It's very dense. He said, I'm sorry, I hate when I do that.
No, he said, why is the SEC the most?
Guys, you can be mad at me. He said,
conference.
then why is the SEC the most watched conference?
Which, I'd have to look it up. I don't even know if that's still true.
So I think it's going to be close, but part of the reason it's the most watched is the density in the population. But even Mississippi State Bulldog fans are all watching Mississippi State.
Yeah.
You're just not getting Mississippi State Bulldog fans that somehow live in Illinois or Massachusetts or somewhere like that. Like the concentration, I think. But the eyeballs thing would be interesting. I would imagine Josh has done a little research.
I would also guess, and maybe this is me making assumptions here.
Which by the way, Josh, I have to say this to him because I hug his kid every day.
Mm-hmm.
Mick is going to be fantastic. He's going to start. Should I say that out loud?
Can if you want to.
He's just way good.
I think there's two things that are at play here. Number one, I don't know what I'm not going to pretend like I've looked up the television rating numbers. I do know what.
I'd be curious.
I do know what
I know those games will probably draw the biggest numbers.
The SEC doubles the Big Ten in television ratings. It's like 4.9 to 2.8, somewhere around there comparative, but the Big Ten makes way more money on their network contracts.
So I think to that point is kind of what I'm saying about the population base, where I don't know if everybody in New Jersey is watching Rutgers.
Yeah.
Right. But
way more people
in Mississippi are watching Mississippi State.
But way more people in the rest of the Big Ten footprint are probably watching Rutgers than in the rest of the SEC footprint watching Mississippi State.
And I mean, let's just call it what it is. You're going to get people in Nebraska or Iowa or, Illinois that are going to watch, LSU and Texas.
Yeah. I think there's a couple things at play here.
The brands are huge.
Whatever the television numbers are, the television companies have found the Big Ten to be more valuable. So I think that matters, right? The television contracts are what they are. Like those people are getting paid more than what the SEC is. So obviously there's some value there. I don't know if it's a streaming issue. Like maybe people in the Big Ten footprint stream their games more than people in the SEC footprint.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, the Big Ten has been deemed more valuable. So that to me is pretty indicative of what they think the futures of the leagues are.
I mean, for my man Josh, it's not that linear. Given the conversation that we're having about it being too regional, because that doesn't that doesn't equate
It doesn't
to revenue dollars and
fix
people-
your regionality.
Yeah. That just it's where everybody lives.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, that's great. I think there's a reason the television companies pay more, or the streaming companies or whoever pay more for the Big Ten.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that's an accident.
Yeah. Archer, he is Clark, he says, I actually enjoy Clark Lee. He is. And he figured out, I'll tell you a very fascinating thing about when I first saw Clark Lee the first time down there, he was very much super pragmatic about the football aspect of it. A little behind on the NIL, not as much willing to spend, kind of giving the coaches freedom and autonomy, and kind of struggled that year, and then revamped the staff and took some serious self-inventory. The 2.0 Clark Lee, like post, like let's say Dan and those guys leaving, is very different than
the original.
Yeah, his self-awareness is at a high level.
You know me, I'm a big self-awareness guy. He's still only 44.
Yeah, you'd like Clark Lee.
He seems like the type of person I would be.
He's exceptionally bright. He can talk. He can definitely talk ball. So Lance, this is interesting. Shane, can you make? Okay, I can read that. He said it only works if the Big Ten breaks away too to self-govern, and you have further expansion to Big Ten and SEC to grab the final big brands. He and I have been going back and forth for a long time. He's very he's paid close attention to this.
I would agree with that set to me.
I do too.
If the SEC can get the big,
I agree too. But I knew how he felt.
But if we're just talking about the SEC by itself, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
If you're talking about the SEC and the Big Ten together, we're having a whole other conversation where I agree it would be an arms race to scoop up the last handful of big brands, and then everybody would move on and do their own thing.
Well, if
they're
going to try to legislate expansion out of football, out of collegiate football, just to keep the Big Ten and the SEC down, then the Big Ten and the SEC are just going to work quicker.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think there is no version of this in which one of the conferences I think survives on its own. It would have to be the SEC and the Big Ten in tandem, which I don't think is off the table.
Yeah.
But the SEC talking about just doing their own thing is asinine.
Jack, that's a fantastic question. Jack asked if I could interview two coaches at Big Ten Media Days, who would they be? Not named Matt Rule. Is it just like, is it just super transparent, open forum?
30 minutes, true serum.
Oh, I'm going with Signetti and Lanning.
Ooh, Lanning's interesting.
Yeah, there's some things I would ask Dan Lanning.
You know who I thought of first?
Oh,
I kind of want to get like some actual honesty out of Lincoln Riley.
Let him talk. He'll tell you.
No, but I mean, like, I want. He does it in like snarky bits.
He's going to be fascinating because I think he'll be asked questions about not make or break, but the sentiment is this year is huge. That's going to come up, and Lincoln will share.
Coming up next, we got Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
It's time to sizzle into summer at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Turn up the heat on your next lease. This July, the savings are as hot as the season. We've also got the 2027 Kia Telluride S starting at $449 a month. Don't wait. Sizzle into summer this July at Edwards Kia. It pays to make the drive to Edwards Kia.
I'm not just super duper athletic. Like, I had to work for what I had. Like, I like to say I'm like an average white kid who's like 5'10". I got these muscles from lifting. Like, freshman year, well, it goes back farther than that. Like 7th and 8th grade, my dad's a PE teacher in the winter. He's ground crew in the summer, PE teacher in the winter. And we would go to Kellam Elementary, and we'd show up there 5 days a week. It was 6 a.m. So we wake up at like 5:15, and we'd walk in, and there's a little janitor there. He was awesome, and his name was Puspa. And he'd say, "Let them sleep," like to us. Like he was telling my dad to let us sleep because it was so early in the morning. But we'd be working out there 5 days a week, all fall and winter, doing Florida Baseball Ranch, driveline stuff. Right before school, and we'd go to Our Lady of Lourdes. And then you hit your freshman year of high school and you kind of hit the ground running with weightlifting and stuff. And then you really start to get some muscles. And I haven't hit puberty yet. And then you get sophomore year, you hit puberty and you're working hard and stuff just kind of starts to develop. There are a lot of early morning infield workouts, a lot of teammates, a lot of Florida Baseball Ranch stuff, getting screened on my body, seeing what I need to work on. But any kid can do it. You really can. Like I never had family who played professional baseball before. I never had a family member who played Division I baseball before. I not came from nothing, but like you don't have family members who have done that before. So you didn't really know. It's just my dad's research. So anyone can do it with the right research and the right resources. You got to put the work in.
If losing weight is harder than you expected, it's not just about willpower. At Next Gen Male Medical Clinic, we build a supervised plan around your body, not someone else's. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com. Let's get you moving forward.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Brian CHRISTOPHERSON, Husker 24/7. Anytime now, can we get BC on screen? There we go. BC, how are we doing, buddy?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Oh, we're just over here producing.
They're hanging in there.
Making sure we can see your smiling, lovely face. How we doing?
I'm doing excellent. I was listening to your commercial jingles while I was driving around this morning. You didn't follow up the My Buddy with the Kid Sister, though. Remember, they always used to play the My Buddy and then the Kid Sister.
Wherever I go,
Yeah.
he goes.
Yeah.
So my one of my favorite early commercials, BC, was like, "Yes, I am the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man."
Yeah.
Or the Morton Salt Girl. Like, those are like some gems. Where's the beef?
I remember Where's the Beef? Mikey, I think he likes it.
Great commercial. What was the
Life.
cereal? Very nice.
I got you.
Very nice. Yeah, BC, we're just romanticizing.
Sprite had some sneaky good commercials too. I don't know if you remember this one, Damon, but there were these they were brothers, and they were thespians, and they were on the basketball court acting like they were kind of hardcore basketball players, and then they messed up the shot or something, and the one guy's like, where's my motivation, and he says it in this real like Oxford sort of voice. There's like strange commercials like that will pop into my head on occasion, and I'll have to go on a YouTube search, and then I'm on YouTube for the next hour looking at stuff from 1989.
I think I do remember that Sprite commercial, the "Where's my motivation?" like triggered memory for me. I also was Little Penny Sprite.
We were sitting on the couch.
Yeah, when you got Little Penny Hardaway. I think was that
Chris
Sprite?
Rock. Do you guys know that at first that offended Penny because Penny didn't like the public? It took him a while to grow into embracing Little Penny.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
it ended, that started the rift between he and Shaq originally over commercial endorsements.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I watched that. The Penny Hardaway. BC. I'm sorry for going down this rabbit hole, but
no, it's fine.
The Penny Hardaway thing is interesting because he never really wanted to be he was like the reluctant superstar. Like he never wanted to be that guy. And he's aged better than I actually think he was. This is my opinion as a player. Like you're not all in on Penny, are you?
I think he's pretty overrated. It was Nike, not Sprite. Sorry. He was in Sprite commercials though, wasn't he?
I think I can't remember.
Anyway,
but
yeah, I think he's overrated.
It's just fascinating because I think we assume BC, and this will kind of lead me a little bit to Colandrea or coming in the quarterback room. You have to. The position in this state calls for certain kinds of attributes based on what we're used to, right? And it's always interesting how quarterbacks, I think, not either struggle, but they don't know what it is until you actually get here. I'm kind of putting it on the National Football League comparison of being a Dallas Cowboys quarterback, right?
Right. Yep.
When you're the quarterback in this state at this school, it just has to come with some certain attributes, don't you think?
Absolutely, because you go, think about Anthony Colandrea's world, 7-8 months ago at UNLV, and now you're in a state where you are one of the top 3 most talked about names at the table, at wherever, throughout the borders. I mean, you're talked about more than the governor. You're talking about more than all that stuff. It's just the way it is if you're the quarterback at Nebraska. So you have to first adapt to that everything about you is sort of going to be put under the microscope. Now, I will say, I think Anthony Colandrea has probably benefited this offseason because I think it's been like the least amount of hype or just like hyper focus on a guy in his position that we've had in a long time or since I've been covering it. So I think in some ways that's useful, but in another way, if you're Colandrea, you can't even worry about that. You just have to sort of be like that's what comes with the territory. That's like what you sign up for. And at this position and in this state, you are going to have everything, hyper analyzed after the games. It goes that way everywhere, but it's especially so here. And so you have to have a certain, I think, temperament and thick skin. And also behind the scenes, more importantly, probably than all that, is you have to, I think, have that way of knowing how to sort of connect on the move with your teammates in this era of college football where newcomers sort of have to step into leadership roles pretty quickly. And it seems like, and this isn't just off-season talk, I think Colandrea has excelled at that from everything I've heard.
Let me ask you something. You've heard the quarterbacks talk. All 3, Latif, Kalen, and Colandrea, and they talked about the quarterback room. We've heard players reference the quarterback room. Can we assess how we feel about the quarterback room in 2026 versus 2025 without actually seeing them play? Or can we talk about the vibe coming out of the quarterback room being an advantage in 2026 without games yet?
Oh, that's a great question. I mean, I kind of think I want to see him play to go too far with it, but I do think there's a lot to be said for they've handled their business this offseason. Again, from everything I've heard, and it's not just Colandrea, but TJ Lateef, you got to have a lot of respect for a guy like that who he knew there was going to be guys incoming. You know, he was the starter the last 4 games of the season. He spent the whole off season working on his craft, but also hearing everybody talk about someone else other than him as QB1. That's just been the way it has been. And yet, like, you go over to this, the 7v7, the Battle of the Boneyard event, Damon, and who's like just there having a good time with his dudes, like, part of the operation and just stands out. It's TJ Lateef.
He looks sweet too. He had the all white on. I was like, okay, TJ.
Yeah.
His best life.
But I he came up at his press conference in the spring, and it's only a 5 or 6 minute deal, but it was very impressive. He says, "Yeah, I don't run from a challenge. I want the competition. That's what I'm here for." And he obviously had time to think about what he wants to say in a setup like that, but he said it very well, and he's gone to compete. And the line that stood out to me was when Holgerson said this spring, he was talking with Isaiah Hunter and Ja'Cory Barney, I think like in December or whatever. And of course, people are wondering, like, are those guys going to stay? Are they definitely going to be here in the program the next year? And Holgerson mentioned that those receivers said to him, they like TJ, like they can win games with that guy. Like, they believed in him and he can play. Like, they had that thought no matter what Nebraska did in the portal or who they got. And that was honestly one of the lines that stuck out to me the most during March and April.
BC, I've been thinking a lot about this with what DB said about certain guys being wired a certain way for playing at Nebraska. And I think obviously at the quarterback position, that's more dramatic than others. Is that, in your experience, you've been doing this a while, you watch a lot of college football outside of Nebraska as well. Like, in your opinion, is that something where guys just sort of have to come in that way, or that they can develop a little bit of the calluses necessary? Like, where do you land on sort of a nature versus nurture on the mentality to handle this place?
Yeah, that's good. I think you have to develop some of it as you go. It's hard to know without being in those shoes, because we've seen so many different personalities do that job, and some have been effective with personalities you wouldn't think would fit. Like, for most of his career, there were jokes made about everything Taylor Martinez said in a press conference.
Yep.
It didn't stop him his first couple of years from just going and balling out and like, okay, put me on the field between the lines. That's what I'm here to do. And so I guess like it sort of counters what my first answer was, but there are guys who like you wouldn't like, if you were making them on a video game for like how you handle the media and stuff like that. Some guys haven't been ideal at it, but have done all right when it counts. But I think to your point is a good one in the question, Robbie. You have to probably you can't know exactly what type of fishbowl you're in until you're actually in it, and you swim around a little bit and you see like, okay, that's how it is. And again, though, I will say I don't think Colandrea has had as much off season just like microscope on him, even as much as like Casey Thompson did a few years ago. It's just been sort of a different offseason here. It's about to change though. And so that we're entering that phase where people are going to dial in closer if they haven't been. And we're going to see it like I think it usually is, as far as how people discuss the quarterback and sort of their hopes about it. I think also too, there was Colandrea has the advantage, maybe a little bit of, there's an appreciation for his situation. If you think back to what happened with Minchie and how he goes somewhere else. And then within 24 hours, Colandrea was the guy and was really excited to be the guy. And so that's sort of like, without trying to do it, like a great first impression to the fan base. Like, yeah, I want to be there, sort of when someone else went out the door and you're raising your hand like, no, I'll take that job. And so that's not a bad way to come out of the blocks. And that was unintended, but it works out for him.
I mean, he's kind of double dipping in that part of the pool, right? Because not only do you have it with Minchie, but you have it with Raiola too, right? It's like you've got a guy that we were really excited about that decided he didn't want to be here anymore. And then you've got a guy that for 24 hours, as you mentioned, we were excited about transferring from Notre Dame, that decided he'd rather be at Kentucky. So like Colandrea kind of benefits on both edges of that, from both the guy he's succeeding and the guy that people thought was going to replace Rail in the first place.
Yeah, that's a good point. I also like, if you go back to how he entered with his teammates, it sounds like, and this is from rule stuff in the spring, he didn't just try to bowl his way into like, I'm the guy. Like he, I think, took his time learning guys' names and trying to develop, relationships off the field with them, and also understanding there was a lot of respect, or is a lot of respect, for TJ and Danny and the guys in that room. And I think he gave that space and let that breathe a little bit the first couple months. And that was to his benefit as well. And then, it does come down to, when you're on the field and you're practicing and guys are looking at, can we win with this guy? And he's running around and they're extending some plays, and it kind of gets the receivers jacked up and the tight ends. Like, there's going to be some maybe more chances for explosives for me and what this offense can do. And they start to imagine a little bit. So I think they're in a good space from all that. And now, of course, it comes down to when you get to the games in 6 weeks or whatever, can you knock that turnover number down? And there's going to be those few plays in a critical games. It's 3rd and 5. What do you do on that play? What happens in that moment? Are you that guy who kind of rises in those 3 to 4 plays that can sometimes tip a game?
BC, the funny thing is, and I'll move off of the quarterback thing real quick, but the funny thing is with Trey being here so early, Ravi talked about being hardened, and you talked about being, getting calluses and stuff like that. He's seen firsthand in it what happens with the media. Like he's got a good idea on how this thing works, let alone before he even has the opportunity to try to take a snap. Like I think he gets the media intensity because he sees it, right? That would be fascinating, because you do have to be built to be able to hear and read about yourself, and it's not always positive when you're being critiqued. And then there's the part that you have to be able to handle when everybody's always saying good things about you, and you still have to go to work with your agenda. So there's the juxtaposition of maturity is fascinating.
I wonder if that's the toughest part sometimes, if you would know better than I, but for an athlete to actually have the positive noise when it starts coming, or there's sort of a buildup about you, and like kind of just keeping that in its place, be like, oh, let's set that over here in the corner and not, worry about that. I think that's as big a deal as taking the hard criticism, honestly, because you kind of probably in your mind are like, okay, I'm going to have to be able to do that. You, especially if you're growing up as a quarterback, you're like, I'm going to have that sort of brain, that sort of mind where I can handle that. I can move on from that. But then suddenly, like, people are like, oh, this guy's going to be better than the last guy. And you sort of hear that sort of talk. Like, how do you handle that? Are you able to sort of beat that down and just go on? And so that's a big thing too around here, because if the first few games go really well, and you go out to East Lansing and you play well on the road, suddenly there's going to be a lot of positivity that pops up, and you got to handle that. And that's the pitch you're going to have to hit.
BC, I'm kind of taking this conversation a little bit more globally or nationally, at least in the college football realm, like doing what you do and seeing all the different levels of recruits, and not just at quarterbacks, but kind of more specifically there, because we see them so much outside of actually playing football. Like, do you see a correlation between some of the more highly touted guys and some of the guys that are maybe a little bit more under the radar, and what personality types we see from them more often? Or is that too much blanket statement?
I don't know if I've thought about it enough to give a good answer on that. It's a good question. I just think, as a QB, obviously you've got to earn your respect on those crucial moments. What do you do in the huddle, or how do you react after you threw a pick and, or your left tackle missed a block? Like, I think that's going to be a big deal. There's that sort of phase of it. And I think whether you're sort of a mid-level guy or high-end quarterback, you still have to be really good at communicating with your guys in those moments. And the best ones are able to get to the sideline with their dudes and they, I think, can iron stuff out, on the move. But I think that's also stuff that has to be built up in the months now, especially in this portal era, March through August, like where you have that connection, you've spent that time together and you can be true to each other on the sideline, whether it's good or bad with how things are going. So these have been huge months for Anthony in that sense. And again, people can say, well, it's always sort of positive this time of year. And I get that, but I do hear a lot of good things about how the quarterback and the guys around him have kind of come together and sort of the gelling process that's taken place to at least give them a chance now when you get to those moments.
BC, if you're talking about, I asked Sam this yesterday, I've seen everything from, some say 5 wins, some say 6, some say 7. I've seen a few 8s. If Nebraska's towards the upper echelon, and I said to Sam, I said, I think maybe an 8 wins with a chance to get to 9 at Iowa. What's the future headline read or headlines read if Nebraska's in a position to be someplace that they haven't been since 16?
Okay. Jeep's got them going. That's one of them. I mean, that's one headline, like Jeep and Lonnie and everybody, that crew, like it came together. They're for real up front. The transfers have fit in. Elijah Pritchett's taken that next step, and we're starting to talk about like what type of draft pick he is with that body and always the potential that he's had. And of course, Justin Evans sort of as a leader. So I think I'd almost start in the trenches. I think we'll be having a headline, if that's the case, where they're going for 9 wins or whatever, that they were an opportunistic defense. They thrived more at taking the ball away, and also had an ability in the red zone to force teams to kick field goals instead of score touchdowns, which obviously did not happen last year. They were last in the country in a red zone touchdown percentage. So a stat like that, like you look at it like in November and you're like, okay, their red zone touchdown percentage defense is like top 40 or top 30 or something like that. Combined with Colandrea. I mean, really, like he sort of has that, Rule has talked about like a quarterback has that it to him, that it factor. And if what you're saying were to happen, and what headlines are out there, it's he has it. Like he had that game against Indiana or somebody that where they made some plays that we haven't seen, where it wasn't exactly as you drew it up on the whiteboard, but he figured it out and it led to a big touchdown that turned it, and it got that win that against somebody Nebraska wasn't favored to beat. And so I think those are the main ones. It's one of the more interesting seasons because I do think people are very tempered in their thoughts about all of it. And yet there's these 3 big points, which if they all hit at a certain level, Colandrea at QB, the O-line, and what Rob Orich and his, that new group of coaches can do, especially on the front on that defense, if they all brought it up a level or 2, what you're talking about is possible. And so that's why I've kept a wide open mind this offseason. I'm not going to be a guy who says because this happened in 2024, that's what's going to happen in 2026. I think I understand why people think that way, but I don't want to be in that crowd. You want to give this team a fresh opportunity to show what it can do. And last year it was a young team. I just was looking at the roster. If you go by the 5-5 rule and look at who's a first year through 5th year guy, 84 of the 117 guys are now 3rd year and up, and 42 of those guys are on the roster are 3rd year guys. They've been around a little bit with college football. Some of them have been in Rule's program 2 years. You talk about being a development program. This is really an opportunity to put that out there on the field with for the coaching staff and for these guys. There's a ton of guys that are 3rd year players that have sort of been on the fringe a little bit, and this is their moment to step up and show I can play at this level, not just play, but I can turn a game at this level.
BC, is there a position group, and I think you're kind of leaning this way with maybe some of the comments you made about Jeepway and the offensive line, but is there a position group that you're starting to allow yourself to think, hey, they might actually be really good? Like, not necessarily just, hey, better than last year or whatever, but like, hey, this could legitimately be a, I don't know, top 4 or 5 unit in the Big Ten.
I'm most optimistic in leaning that way with the line. That's the group because of just the amount of snaps they have in college football. You know, Brendan Black has more than 2,100 snaps. Mubanga, I think, had a really good spring. Tree got a lot of love from guys who have gone against him at what he's done at right tackle. And I think they have a chance to legitimately be like 7-8 deep when you factor in like Gatula, Tyler Kanak. You know, there's certain, you know, Gibson Pyle was a guy who was doing really well last year before he was injured. So there's guys like him that you might hear about this August. We'll see who pops up there. But I think they could truly get to like 8 that you feel good about. And that front 5, if they can gel together, they have the experience. So that would be my top answer by far. I wouldn't say I'm expecting them to be top 5 in the league, but another group that I'm upbeat about is linebacker, just because I thought they made some great moves there with Chambliss and Dexter Foster. And I don't think we should sleep on what Vincent Shavers might have to say about things too.
BC, let me ask you something. You don't have to answer this if you don't want to. It's about Mekhi Nelson, and this is from a media perspective, because this is coming from a guy that had a similar situation on the heels the same weekend of LP. Mm-hmm. And the Cliff Notes version was it wasn't a breaking and entering. I don't know if you remember the story. I had the coded entrance. My neighbors let her in, made a scene, tried to get her out of the apartment, kind of messed up my license plates, whatever. There's all these reports. LP got in trouble that same weekend. I think the guys down in the media or at the paper were like, hey, you want Benning's picture too. People took and ran with the story. You know, T.O. was very animate about, I better be telling the truth. It's getting ready to get kicked off. Is a tough 3 or 4 days. My neighbors stepped forward, kind of corroborated the story. I didn't know this. Coach Osborne called me back in. She never pressed charges. They dropped the charges. Kurt McKeever wrote a sensational article that Sunday. You can still pull it up in the Lincoln Journal-Star. I saved it. The paper has a yellow tint to it. It's so old. Smile back on Benning's face, exonerated, this, that, and the other on ESPN. So, trying to invest in Mekhi and talk about situations. The body cam footage was released. I don't know what kind of light that paints, but if you're in the media, you're in the media, you're talking to Mekhi. Mekhi comes with a certain amount of embarrassment, a little bit of shame. He's trying to get acclimated, get back into the swing of things, conditioning, worried about the perception of what people think, what they really know, what they don't know. What would your advice be to a guy that is coming out of the situation that he's coming through, to let him know about what you think from your vantage point about where he is? Will he ever just be able to play football without it being a thing, or would you coach him that it's something that he's just going to have to deal with in the meantime? Like, what would be your perspective if we're in a media training session class with Mekhi Nelson?
Boy, that's a tough one.
I'm pretty off it. Like,
yeah, I think the biggest thing, you know what, Damon, I don't suspect he's going to do like a media thing, very soon. I don't know what the situation's going to be with the team. I don't know that what the next step is or what they're deciding to do. I'm not, here to really give him advice, but I think if, everybody, has had things at different levels where they've made mistakes or something didn't happen, how you wanted it to. And in this case, his played out more publicly than most of us experience, when we've made mistakes. And so I think, you just have to surround yourself, I think, with the people, like are good for you and, care about you and just build yourself up that way. And I guess I would say to him, and I mean, you're an example that with the story you told there, that was a bad, those days, I'm sure for you, when it first happened, felt like this is,
the end of the world.
Everything's crumbling. Like, this is it. That it's life screwed up for me, sort of thing. And what happened and what is the proof of you here now and what happened with the rest of your, Husker career and stuff is that it wasn't the end, and like there was another step and you just had to work through it, but you had to, I'm sure you surrounded yourself with people that you trusted. And, there's probably things where, like, all of us look in the mirror and like, what can I do? What do I need to do better? Like that stuff like that. So I'm not here to get it all into that about what he needs to do personally, because, there's stuff I'm sure I don't know about, that one. So I want to talk out of turn, but, I would think the best case scenario, and I say this as someone who obviously loves when guys come up front and you want to know the whole story, but that's one where if you're in the program, you just put your head down, you go to work, and if there is any trust loss or whatever, you build back trust. You find out who you can trust, and you just work on yourself. And then there's maybe a point, a year or two down the road, things have changed. It's a different story that people are talking about with you, and maybe you do have that interview, and there are some things you've thought about how to say what you want to say about things and how you've grown and what you learned from certain things, no matter how they popped up or what all the details of why it became a headline in the first place. I don't know if that was a very good answer.
BC, that's fantastic, because I mean, it's just a certain level of trust that I have with you being thoughtful, and I'm clearly opening up those channels by telling you kind of my vantage point to it too. And I only bring it up because I just saw Kurt McKeever this weekend.
Yeah.
In passing on a humbug. And to this day, right, it's like, I embrace him. I give him this big hug because, from a media standpoint, it's just freeing to be able to read and see that somebody actually understands, like when you felt like your back was against the wall.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And,
right.
And I think so I was just curious, because how the light, sometimes we have this tendency where our happiness is usually dictated on what we're focused on, just like our issues. And so if the more we focus on the issues, the more probably magnified they become. The more you look for things that are happy spots in your life, the more that they're magnified. So young people sometimes don't understand that. And with so much online stuff and what do people think, they're not saying anything. What do they think of me? I just was looking for like if you were going to sit him down, if I said, hey, BC is a really thoughtful guy to talk to. He writes a ton. Like, this is kind of the vantage point. It's not always what you think. That's why I asked the question, just from a perspective standpoint, not like right or wrong.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure you've maybe even had the conversations with him or family, but I mean, people like you are great resources for someone as they're trying to move on and find that next step of after something that you thought was it for you. Like, this is going to crush me. And so if that's what would be my advice, honestly, is to turn to guys who have, who have been through some of that and can show you like there is another side you can get to, and you just gotta in some ways probably put your head down and get in that circle that you trust and build yourself up and be honest about what you have to work on too, right? I mean, you gotta do that in some cases. Again, this is one where, I know what the report said, and that's what is published, and that's all I know. I don't know more than that about that situation. And so it's a deal where the coaches have to, they are going to have a much better read on all the details of it than I would. This is also why coaches and players build relationships, that are meant for to take on tough stuff too. And this is obviously one of those.
That's Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7 BC. Great stuff as always. We appreciate the time and thoughtfulness, and we'll talk to you next week.
Good stuff, B.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
That is Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. We're going to talk to Kevin Suits from 1011 News in Lincoln coming up in just a second. I did just want to say, I think part of the public perception issue that we run into with these types of things, and BC kind of made me think this right at the end there, is we make a judgment based on the initial tweet, and then we don't read the police report, and then we don't watch the body cam footage, and then we don't. And so that's where this gets dangerous, I think, to the good, to the bad, to the whatever. And this is not just in serious stuff like legal issues, but I was talking about SEC Media Days. If I look at a tweet and then don't follow up and get the context of whatever Eli Drinkwitz's quote is, I could be mistaken.
You think he can't count to 9?
I still think he can't count to 9, and I went and got the context. I still don't think he can count to 9.
Wow. It's tough.
But we react on the TMZ tweet, right? And then we go back and we don't ever go back and say, oh, this is what the police say happened, not what TMZ says happened.
Yeah.
Right. And that is a really big difference.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
I get it.
I think that's worth just bringing up in situations like this. Let's take a quick break. That's DB. I'm Ravi. Lulla. We'll be right back with Kevin Suits from 1011 News in Lincoln here on Hurrdat Sports Live.
How important was just the support you had during that year off? And all of the training. I mean, Coach Joseph and everybody involved in that situation for you.
I'm glad you brought that up and I know all the coaches get praise, but the staff, our athletic trainer Andrew and strength coach Kurt, they're there around the clock. They're always ready for us. They're there to support us, and especially in that year that I was out, I spent a lot of time with them, and they did a lot for me. Just getting my body and my knee back to healthy, and also helped me through the mental grind. I had an injury that was pretty hard to come back from. And they helped me come back from. And it was very uncertain if I was ever going to be able to play again, and they did a lot. It's just so appreciative of everything that they did for me.
It's time to sizzle into summer at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Turn up the heat on your next lease. This July, the savings are as hot as the season. We've also got the 2027 Kia Telluride S starting at $449 a month. Don't wait. Sizzle into summer this July at Edwards Kia. It pays to make the drive to Edwards Kia. Everyone's talking about peptides. You are doing it right. At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, peptide treatments are clinician guided, tailored to your goals, monitored for safety. Call today or visit nextgenmmc.com.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Kevin Suits from 1011 News in Lincoln. Kevin, what's going on, buddy? How we doing?
Good morning. Happy Wednesday to you guys. Hump day.
Yeah, it is. I never thought we were going to make it through like the sports break. You know, you kind of get that lull, and we're not quite out of it, but I love baseball, so I feel like we're fully out of it. And I got to watch guys run the bases like 4-year-olds last night, so I'm pretty ecstatic about baseball. But
JT Real Muto, baby.
Well, I don't know how much of that you watch. Everybody will point to Riamoto and kind of how they ran the bases, but the Dodgers did the same thing when Ohtani got thrown out at second. Like, just run through home plate, don't watch the play behind you, and that run scores. I don't know. I know you love baseball. I feel like once we turn the corner past last week, we're on the downside, right? You feel pretty good about ramping this thing up?
Yeah, I wouldn't go there till August. You know, I still feel like that week or two that follows the All-Star break, it gets a little, the teams still try to find their footing. Some of the guys are traveling during the break, and I actually really enjoy the baseball immediately following the All-Star break because you get to see the aces throw all over again. It's like sometimes the pitching rotations get really like off kilter, but you can reset it after the All-Star break. So, those 2, 3, 4 games right after the break, you're going to see the top arms of each team. And some of them aren't fresh. Some of them are really fresh. So I don't know that I really feel like it's on the downside until August, till teams start to find kind of their cadence and rhythm, after the reset. And I think that's what, like, Boston, like what they're doing right now is actually incredible because it started before the All-Star break. Then they took some time away and they've remained just as hot. They're maybe playing better these couple of games after the break than they did before. It's pretty remarkable.
Yeah, I forgot. So this is going to sound, and this isn't Dodger fan being a turd, but I forgot. Like, I'm excited because I'm closer to seeing Snell and Glass now. Like, I forgot they were even in the rotation. It's like, oh yeah, those guys are still on our team. Like,
and you'll forget about them again after you trade for Scooble, so it'll be fine.
I don't know. I just think it's fascinating.
And also the trade deadline is going to do something. I mean, it's going to shake up some of these rosters. There's going to be some movers here. Teams that are going to try to make a run here on the backside. There's bound to be a few big names to get dealt here over the next week or so. So that's going to kind of reset itself in some way or somehow. Like, there's going to be a division, not just a team or two, but there's going to be a division that's going to be put on alert because somebody acquires somebody big. Don't know who that is. And the thing about, like, since I brought up the trade deadline, does Mike Trout go? Like, I've always said no. He's got the no trade clause. He's going to be in LA forever. But I'm wondering if this year would possibly be the year. I'm not calling a shot here, and this isn't a hot take, but just play along for a second here.
Okay.
I don't know that Judge is going to play this year. I don't think that I've read or heard or seen anything that gives me confidence that Aaron Judge is going to be back on the field for the Yankees this season. They may need another piece, especially being in that division. And is it Mike Trout? I really have. That's crossed my mind multiple times. I think it's kind of crazy, but if there's a team to go get him, I think that would maybe be it.
So if you're Trout, he's very, we know he's loyal, he's super loyal, he's clearly comfortable. You think he'd like that market?
I don't know. he was back home in Philly for the All-Star game. And I know it's the All-Star game with, the fanfare, and they did a great job of leaning into that city's history and made it really special. Mike Trout seemed pretty happy in Philly, during the break. If he can handle Philly, he can handle New York, I would believe. Yeah. And he's just so mature. I don't know if that Mike Trout would like the New York market 5, 7, 8 years ago. I think where he's at in his career, I think he'd be okay with it, especially if he brings him a championship. And I don't know. Thanks for indulging here. It's just something that's crossed my mind recently. I don't know that he's going to go. You're right. He's incredibly loyal. But man, he's really kind of moved to the backside of the headlining acts in Major League Baseball. Yet he still has maintained his status as one of the best players in the game over the past decade.
Yeah, I want to jump to, just because we're talking about the time period and the summer. Are you surprised that there's so much? And you've been at 10-11, like you get the community. Do you think we'd get to the point where we're talking Nebraska basketball in July as much as we've talked Nebraska basketball in July?
I think it's crazy. I think I've had more conversations just out in public about, here's 2 quick stories for you. Generally, if you're at the grocery store, if I'm at one of my kids' games, and people are like, how are we going to be this year? Prior to this year, I would say 9 times out of 10, the question's about Nebraska football. I got one this past weekend that was, what do you think about the game? And I'll be dead honest with you guys. I had no idea what game he was talking about. It was the World Cup championship. It was the World Cup final. And for a second, I probably looked like I turned white as a ghost. Like, what game? I mean, because it's in July. There really are no big games that the community's talking about. But of course, it was Argentina, Spain. I was able to divert that public embarrassment and hopefully save face a little bit and act like I knew what I was talking about. But then secondly, people will ask about like, how many games do you think we're going to win? Or you think we're going to make the tournament? Like Nebraska basketball, I guess in this local community and some of the people that I run into pretty regularly, it is a hotter topic of conversation in Lincoln during the offseason than Nebraska football. I would have never thought I would see the day, but I think that it is probably 2-1, if not 3-1. And so many folks just want to talk about Braden Frager, Price Sanford. And I think there was like a connection that the fans had with that team, and to know that a few of the key pieces from last year's basketball team are back, that connection has grown even stronger. And there is a lot of space in minds across Lincoln that is devoted to Nebraska basketball right now, even though, it's July and the season doesn't begin until October.
Yeah, so, I'm sorry, Kev. I think we got to be able to have these conversations without it being an indictment on the football program. Like, I think we have to be better about, it doesn't have to be at the expense of the other. Like, basketball's earned the right to be their own thing. It doesn't have to be in stark contrast. Well, football's not this. So, you know what I mean? It's like, maybe we just have to learn to have more nice things.
And how to just be okay with what the reality is. The reality is, like, there's just this incredible amount of momentum that's gotten behind the basketball program, and just embrace it. Why even put anything negative in there? And I would say the other conversation piece that comes up often is volleyball. And I think part of that is, 1, pretty much everybody's back. 2, they're probably going to be ranked preseason number 1 in the country. And number 3, look at the schedule. That's to be really, it's something to behold and to be very excited about, because they're going to go down and play at AT&T Stadium in Dallas. They're going to go out to Las Vegas. They're going to go then up and play in the Dakotas, and you kind of have a Bergen-Riley homecoming time, part 2. And then they're going to be at Wrigley Field, and then they're going to play their Big Ten schedule, and then they're going to have a Big Ten tournament on the backside of it. And there are so many folks this summer that, if they're trying to get Nebraska volleyball season tickets, they've had to go through the reseeding process. So there's a lot of talking points with Nebraska volleyball. So I don't know that why we even need to, bring football into the conversation, because basketball and volleyball can stand alone on their own enthusiasm and offseason excitement. And it doesn't really have anything to do with the current state of the football program. Just let it be for what it is.
Kev, Kevin, when you're talking about the football program with people out in the ether and out in the community, which, by the way, that scenario you described of somebody asking you what you thought about the game is like my nightmare scenario, where somebody will say that, and then if I don't immediately know what game they're talking about, I'm like, oh my God, did I miss something? I always get like a little panic moment. So that's I identify with you there. But when you're out and people are talking about the football program, what's the, like, I don't know how to phrase this. What's the general vibe of like positivity, negativity, cautious optimism? Like, what's the consensus you're seeing when you're talking to people in the public? Or is there one? Or is it like just kind of a scatter shot?
I feel like if I'm to answer that, it's negativity, or maybe not negativity, skepticism, because I don't think people are willing to just be negative before the season even kicks off in September quite yet. But I think because of the schedule and because of the way last year ended, I think that it's kind of looked at with one eye open and one eye closed. Like, I don't know about this, but you know what? They're all going to show up, against who does the season? Ohio. Like, everybody's going to still go. They're going to tailgate. They're going to have fun. They're going to be curious about the season. But I feel like there's a skepticism that trumps the curiosity. They could still go 5-0. And then, like, all these feelings and emotions that are kind of rolled up into the June, July, August conversation, they're gonna kind of get pushed to the side, and then you get wrapped right into this, like, okay, football season, 5-0. What's going to happen next? But right now, I think that's the way that people are kind of hooked up, and I truly believe that there are some people that haven't even let themselves go there yet, but they will when it's August. Everything changes football wise in terms of, dinner table discussion and out with your buddies in the garage, having some drinks in the garage. Like, once Big Ten Media Days happens, then your brain starts to shift. You're like, okay, it's coming. So let's start talking about what the offensive line is going to look like for the upcoming season. And, let's really start to identify like what your quarterback can do and scenarios and what's it look like. I just feel like there's no urgency to talk about Nebraska football at the moment, but I feel like the second that Matt Rule starts getting in front of the podium, and then some of the other players, when fall camp begins, then that will naturally bring it to the front of your mind, and it's going to allow some of these fans that just have kind of suppressed some of these thoughts and feelings, it's going to kind of force it to kind of come to the front of the brain and allow people to start to have their brains and hearts opened up about what this football season could be. But I think right now, Ravi, that's a long way to get to the final answer here. And it's just, I think that there's curiosity with some skepticism rolled into Nebraska football right now.
Let me ask you, you mentioned Big Ten Media Days for next week, Kev. If I give you these two choices of level of interesting, and they could be for completely different reasons, especially when you hear the coaches, but you got a 20, 25 minutes sit down. You taking Lincoln Riley on the importance of this year, or Matt Campbell transitioning to this year?
I'll take Matt Campbell on that, because that's pretty big. That's a big change. Can he do like run a program the way he did in Ames, Iowa, and do it out there in Happy Valley? Like, is that even possible? So I'd really like to get inside the brain of that. Like, what is that shift? And especially when you're trying to prepare a team to play in the Big 12 versus playing a team in the Big 10. I think Nebraska fans can kind of understand what that's like. Like in the Big 12, you can score 40 a game and have a losing record, because you need to score 45 a game. In the Big 10, you got to be ready for November football. You got to be ready to put on your chin strap. However, I think that Iowa State always kind of had a little bit of that in its DNA. So Lincoln Riley or Matt Campbell, I'm going to probably lean Matt Campbell, not to mention there's a little bit of, there's a little bit of local flair that's now out with Matt Campbell at Penn State. So I'd be curious just to get his take on some of those guys that are from this area that followed him out to the East Coast. How are they going to play into what he's trying to get accomplished there?
That is our guy, Kevin Suits, 1011 News in Lincoln. Kevin, appreciate the time as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Kev.
Okay. Thank you much, boys.
I could use a bat at the deadline. Try to get a bat.
Talking about for the Sox?
Yeah.
Go get you one.
You think I get maybe Neto from the Angels?
Oh, are they going to part with that?
Some people think so. Some people think so.
So, do you know this is... So the Dodgers could get back Snell, Ohtani,
Glasnow,
Edwin Diaz, and Tyler Glasnow.
And they might get Derek Skubal.
I see. They'd probably go get a Mize before.
You think so?
But what if Detroit parted with both Skubal and Mize?
I mean, would you?
It could happen.
Would you be shocked?
No,
I wouldn't.
That's wild because they were right there.
Yeah, and now they're not at all in a weak ass division.
Terrible.
I would take an Oddly Rushman too.
There's no way.
You don't think so?
Why would they move off a Rushman?
There's
talk. I know it's out there.
Think, like that's not. I'm not making it up.
The Orioles punt.
So they're another team that
he just hasn't been able to stay healthy.
He hasn't,
and he got off to the fantastic start in his career, which didn't help.
But you also have talking about a team that was really close to getting there, was young. We thought was going to put it all together.
They're going to be here for a while.
Orioles and Diamondbacks were both sort of in that neighborhood. Yeah. I think the same year, right? Had their runs in the postseason. Now we're just like, what happened?
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe that's a pretty hefty bill for Baltimore to keep wanting to pay. If they're not going to be competitive. Yeah. Let's take a quick break here. Coming up next, we got Scott Dochterman from The Athletic, talk a little college football, and maybe we'll dive a little into SEC media days. All those guys are stupid.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. I like Kirby Smart. But they say a lot of those guys say some outlandish things.
Different day yesterday.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be right back. More Hurrdat Sports Live.
Feeling tired? Foggy? Just off? At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, we offer hormone evaluations, peptides, supervised weight management for men and women. Most insurance accepted. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com.
It's time to sizzle into summer at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Turn up the heat on your next lease. This July, the savings are as hot as the season. We've also got the 2027 Kia Telluride S starting at $449 a month. Don't wait. Sizzle into summer this July at Edwards Kia. It pays to make the drive to Edwards Kia.
Is it cornhole or bags?
I grew up on bags.
For me, it's cornhole.
It's cornhole.
It's cornhole. We're literally in the state of Nebraska. Cornhole.
Absolutely cornhole. It is bags. It just rolls off the tongue a lot easier.
Oh, it's cornhole. Nobody says bags around here in Nebraska.
It's never bags. Always cornhole. It's ridiculous.
Bags? What are you throwing? We're throwing bags. What are we doing here?
Bags, 100%.
It's cornhole. Cornhole.
Cornhole.
It's cornhole. Cornhole.
It's cornhole.
It's cornhole, and if you say that it's bags, you're kicked out.
Cornhole.
Ball's inside! Patella pause. Another shot of tequila for
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by Next Gen Mayo Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Scott Dochterman from The Athletic. Scott, how we doing this morning?
Little audio issue there, Doc.
Is that us, guys?
Yeah, is that us, Shane?
He has to
It's Doc.
unmute his mic.
Oh, the mic is muted. Nope, not yet.
Still nothing.
We'll log back in and get him.
Okay,
sounds good. In the meantime, don't forget to give our friends over at Next Gen Mail Medical a call, 402-614-9700. 9700. What do you like about Next Gen, DB?
9700.
Besides the phone number.
I don't know.
Okay, good talk.
I like it a lot. Should I go there today or tomorrow? I don't know if I can go. I don't think I can go today because I don't think I went to until on Friday.
Yeah, you can't skip it. You can't skip 2 whole
was
days.
I Thursday or Friday?
I think you were
last week?
Thursday last week.
I better call them.
I think you were
They'll be like,
Thursday.
why are you calling?
They're going to keep track of you. They have to.
Oh, I know.
Somebody has to.
Oh, and you know what?
What's that?
I'm not going till tomorrow because I have to do a panel.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
What kind of panel are you doing?
I was supposed to do it last week, and she goes, "Are you hydrated?" And I was like, "Yeah, see you next week."
Oh, like a blood panel.
Yes.
I thought you were like a speaking panel.
And
You were
she's like, "Oh, she minced no words too." I told you last week. Make sure you're hydrated. I was like, "Okay, I'll see you next week."
Gotta drink a little water. Come on now.
I am curious to see my numbers though.
Yeah.
I'm very, very curious.
Listen, they do a good job of keeping.
They're fantastic.
Keeping track of you, taking care of you,
and very exact.
Yeah. Well, you got to be.
Yeah.
When you're dealing with people's health, you got to be.
I
Exact.
like it. The customization is pretty good.
Give them a call, 402-614
9700.
9700 or 9700, as DB likes to say it. I think we maybe have Scott back. Let's
There
give it
he
another
is.
try. Scott, how we doing?
Hey, good. How's it going, guys?
There it is.
Fantastic, Doc. We were poking fun, but not poking fun at SC Media Days. It's easiest for us Big Ten snobs, right? But why do you think? I'm just curious. Why do you think they lack uniformity in the messaging with such a regionally branded conference?
Usually they do. It's kind of a little bit unusual, I would say, that the SEC is not kind of all collectively on one wavelength. The Big Ten usually is, but has been less so the last few years as well. I think in some ways it's because the conference expansion, it kind of allows teams a little bit more freedom and flexibility in numbers. So I think that's some of the situation. But, you know, one of the fascinating things about SEC Media Days every year is the bravado you get. And you'd think that maybe there'd be a little more humility after the last 3 years, with the Big Ten owning the playoff. And the last 3 years, 6 different Big Ten teams in the current Big Ten makeup have qualified for at least the semifinals. But you still hear about the 9-game schedule and how hard it's going to be for the SEC. Well, I mean, the Big Ten is 8-2 against the SEC in the last 2 postseasons. So I think that they probably need to search for a little bit of humility in their message in order to get back to where they think they should be.
So here's my question about the 9-game schedule talk here. Like, does Eli Drinkwitz or anybody else talking about that think that we don't know that they haven't actually played that 9-game schedule yet? Or like when they're talking about, well, we have to face another Power 4 team. I went back and counted. So just the Power 4 games that all the playoff teams from the SEC and the Big Ten faced, and the only team that faced more than 9 from the SEC was Alabama. They played 10. And Oregon and Ohio State both played 10 power conference games. Like the Big Ten's playing more power conference games, including in conference, these last couple of years. So saying that's the reason that they've won the last 3 national titles is kind of insane.
It's ridiculous because I actually chart some of this, and over the previous 5 years, only 12 out of 84 SEC teams actually played 10 or more games against power conference opponents in the regular season. So for them to get this, bout of religion to say that they all of a sudden are playing a better schedule than everybody else is ridiculous. I mean, the ACC, it's about 50%. The Big Ten's at 90% that they play 10 games or more. In fact, Penn State and Indiana just decided a couple of years ago that, look, if the SEC is not going to do this, we're not going to either. Now, and going into this year, only 4 out of the 18 Big Ten teams don't play 10. Nebraska doesn't, which I think probably rightfully deserves a little bit of disdain from people with the whole situation with Tennessee. It's understandable financially, but that doesn't have a great look. SC was that late situation with Notre Dame. It's a 1-year hiccup. It's not going to last. Indiana deserves a little bit of disdain itself for that, because look, they did have, I think it was Virginia and Louisville that they've knocked off their schedule. Indiana's proven that it can play another power conference team. And then finally, Penn State, which is just a 2-year hiccup. Now next year they go to Syracuse as their 10th. So I think it's an interesting, fun little talking bit for the SEC, but it really doesn't have as much meat. The only thing that SEC has over the Big Ten are brand names. But as we know, in bowl season, brand names have been losing to Big Ten teams.
Doc, it's fascinating. You did a summation on kind of the practicality of the breakaway, right? How serious could it be? How, grandiose versus subtle. We kind of agreed, Ravi and I, that it has to be in conjunction with the Big Ten, or it's just not really feasible for a breakaway. When you're looking at your possible outcomes, could they do it as a standalone and be practical about it?
I don't think so. I think it's not a threat. It's a promise. They really would be interested in, and I'll give all my credit to my colleague Seth Emerson for reporting this. I helped out a little bit with it, but the SEC is very frustrated, and so is the Big Ten. They're pretty much on par with how they feel about the lack of uniformity at the national level, the fact that they're feeling like they are getting held back by different rules and things that they want to implement, that it's just not getting much traction. And so but they have to be careful to ensure that they're not judged with get slapped with an antitrust situation, or even look like a cartel, if you will, if the Big Ten and SEC decide to lock arms. I do think what this sets the stage for is, for at least among the Power 4 conferences, is, do we need to go about it separately? And they kind of had their own autonomy placed about 10 years ago, which made sense. Does it need to go a step further? And there's a lot of I think that might be a smart way to look at it. The one thing is, though, football is one thing. It's the biggest sport, no question about it. It's the biggest sport for just about everybody. But how does that interact with all the other sports? I mean, do you want to ruin the NCAA men's basketball tournament, women's basketball tournament, baseball, all those things, just to be, play with and in yourselves there? And I just don't know that that's feasible, but I do think that it's not an idle threat. It's not just, saber rattling from the SEC. There is some legitimacy there, and the Big Ten shares in a lot of that frustration.
Scott, where is the disconnect between the belief of viability between what it sounds like all three of us believe about an SEC independence situation versus what the SEC seems to believe about itself? Like where is the disconnect there?
Well, they have an inflated sense of self-worth. I mean, they think that they could, and they always have, but they had the results for all those years, and now they don't necessarily have them. It's just, I think they would find out very quickly that sure, it would, if they had a SEC only playoff, it would be fun to watch. I certainly would watch it, but really college football in particular is a lot like the Champions League in Europe since the World Cup just finished. I mean, they have these great leagues that they play against one another, the EPL, the Bundesliga, La Liga, all 5 or 6 of them that are the primaries. And then there's some others that aren't as much. And those are great, but you want to test yourself against other teams of similar stature. And I think that they would figure out really quickly, you can't crown yourself the national champion if you just play within the SEC, especially when, the last 3 years that they've gotten their ears boxed, by the Big Ten and other teams. I mean, the Big Ten is 8-2 in the postseason the last 2 years against them. It's 22-10 overall in the postseason. The Big Ten is the last 2 years. So I think that they have to be careful here. That would overly extend themselves. And I'm sure that they, at minimum, would want to test themselves against the Big Ten. But again, the Big Ten is still at this very stage wanting to work through the system. But I think if everything fails in Congress and Congress walks away from the different bills that are there, then I think you might see some reality hit when it comes to some sort of separate governance structure.
Doc, let me ask you, if you're looking kind of the 30,000-foot view down on college football this year, do you remember a year where you felt you were more intrigued about the collection of quarterbacks in the country? I mean, from Mensa to Chambliss to Manning to, Taylor at Mississippi State. There's just so many good material. Lulla's got I'm not even scratching like just draft picks like Levitt. I mean, quarterbacks that are intriguing. CJ Carr for their team's success. I could get to 20 without really having to stress. It seems like an abundance of intriguing quarterbacks.
For sure. And our great staff, Sam Kahn and Antonio Morales, ranked all 138 starters.
Morales' piece and the time. That's it. I don't know how long that took him, but Antonio had some time on his hands.
Yeah, they did. I mean, both of them, they went through each and every single FBS roster and ranked all 138 quarterbacks. And they did a great job of breaking it all down. I was very impressed with what they do. And I think in this country, every year we get intrigued. Last year, a lot of them fell apart. I mean, you think of, some of them like Cade Klubnik, who was considered a Heisman kind of guy, or, and then other ones, from LSU got hurt, just on and on. There were all these great quarterbacks, and you're like, where do they all go? And I'll go a step further, and I'll say the Big Ten has an incredible collection as well. I put together a preseason all Big Ten team that comes out this weekend before Big Ten Media Days. And, you look at, to me, if they missed on anything, in my opinion, and it's just mine, is I thought Damon Williams should have been higher. I thought 20 was too low for him. I thought he was probably high teens to something. But Julian Sayin almost set the record for completion percentage as a freshman. Dante Moore could have been the 2nd overall pick. Jaden Mayava, is going to light it up again from USC, and then you have some really interesting transfers. Josh Hoover Hoover going to Indiana, and Rocco Becht, who we saw in the neighborhood for a few years at Iowa State. Now he's at Penn State. You've got Malik Washington and Bryce Underwood. What will they do for a sophomore year? Malik was really good on a bad team, and Bryce Underwood was very inconsistent for a pretty good team. And then there are others like that I think like Nico Iamaleava. Can he have a better year under Bob Chesney? Drake Lindsay is well thought of by NFL scouts at Minnesota. He's statuesque to a little bit, but man, he played well for the most part last year. And then two transfer quarterbacks in this region, the old Big Ten West, that really intrigued me, are Anthony Colandrea at Nebraska, had a phenomenal year at UNLV, and Colton Joseph, going to Wisconsin after being the Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Year. So there's really no limit to the amount of great potential quarterback play in this league, and I think all of them have the potential to have either breakout or All-American caliber seasons. It's just a matter of, can their teams help them get to that spot? So, and then as you mentioned, you look globally, this is going to be a really fun year, and the one thing that I will say that I really like about it is this whole offseason was we've discussed are the issues dealing with college athletics, from the CSC to the playoff and the gambling and all that stuff. Now we're finally getting into football talk, and you start to look at it and go, wow, it could be really fun this year.
I just want to do a little quick word association just to see kind of where you are. Okay, so just give me one or the other, and I'll try to get probably 4 or 5. All right. Mensa or Jennings?
I'm going Mensa.
Carr or Manning?
That's a good one. I'm going to go Carr.
Reed or Dampier?
I'll go Reed.
Levitt or Damon Williams?
It could have been both. Damon tried to go to LSU. I'm going to go Damon Williams. Levitt was a little inconsistent for me at Arizona State. Not to say that he won't be really good with Lane Kiffin, but I like Damon Williams' talent.
Last one, just so we can kind of just give you a little laughs and giggles. Maiava or Iamaleava?
Maiava. I think Iamaleava has got a chance to be good, but Maiava's proven it. He just has to have receivers. Last year his receivers were elite, that's for sure.
Are you all in on the Chiave Sangapa Luate at Cal?
No. I think I think they could have a decent year, but man, in that league, it's just so tough for them going across the country so many times. I got to see it to believe it before I believe in Cal right now. It's just a little thing.
I have a couple of surprise teams in the Big Ten. Which one do you like more to be better than maybe the experts think? Wisconsin or UCLA?
UCLA.
High on UCLA?
I think UCLA could be, it's like Indiana's like the thing everybody compares to. I'm not even going to put anybody there, but I think they could be a 7 or 8 win team. They are just over the moon with Bob Chesney. He's done a great job recruiting. They all are like, wow, this guy's great. And then you meet him, he kind of looks like Jeremy Renner. It's kind of funny. I met with him in California a few months ago, but I think he's got a chance to kind of bounce them back. Wisconsin may have a winning record, but I'm not sold on their team. After watching them fundamentally last couple of years, just no way do I think they could be 7-5, but that's inflated because they play the easiest schedule in the Big Ten.
Can I ask you 2 more quarterback questions real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Mestamaker or Sand?
I'm going to go Mestamaker. I think Oklahoma State could be that team that goes from 3-9 to 10-2. Because I like, bringing in North Texas, basically the whole roster. It was pretty good. And I think he's got a chance to sling it all over the field in that league.
All in, all out, or somewhere in the middle on Dante Moore?
I'm going to close my eyes and say all in. I think Oregon has the best team in the country. I love their defensive line of scrimmage, and I think that I think offensively they've got some weapons, and one of the best centers in the country too, along with Iowa and Nebraska. So I think they are at or near to me, they are my number one team this year.
All right, Scott, I'm going to stick on quarterbacks here for a second. More philosophical though, because as I was looking through the 138 ranking of quarterbacks. And I'm fascinated by the approach that different schools take in terms of who they try and go get, whether it's a small school guy kind of moving up. That's your Mestemakers, your Hausers, even though I think he was at Michigan State at one point, your Colton Josephs, those type of guys, versus your power conference, we'll call them washouts, your Austin Simmons, your Kevin Minchies, those types. Do you have a preference, just like personally, if you're like, hey, I'm a head football coach, gonna put that hat on for a second. Do you have one you think you'd gravitate towards more than the other?
I don't think so. And the reason why is just look at what we've seen over the last couple of years. You have Fernando Mendoza, who went from Cal to Indiana and was a really good quarterback at Cal, but then became the Heisman Trophy winner and an all-time great based on how he played at Indiana last year. So that was, wasn't necessarily lateral, but it was semi-lateral. It was power 4 to power 4. I think Austin Simmons to me, I think has the potential because of where he was and at Ole Miss, and everybody thought he was going to be the next great thing there. And then it turns out Trinidad Chablis, a Division II guy, bounced up, had a phenomenal year. And then in Austin Simmons has a chance to be that transfer quarterback at Mizzou to be a really good player as well. And then, you look at, the area where I live in Iowa, they tested themselves out with Cade McNamara, a Big Ten winning championship quarterback at Michigan, and he flamed out. He was probably the worst free agent acquisition Iowa made under Kirk Ferentz. And then you look at Mark Gronowski last year, who struggled a little bit early, but man, he came on and he tied the Big Ten record for most rushing touchdowns, and by the end of the year was throwing at a really good level. So I think
Lester's pretty good.
Yeah, Tim Lester is really good, and it's just a matter of in their case, it's about quarterback this year. They were one of the two power conference teams to stand pat and have two backups battle for their starting job along with Alabama. So we'll see what happens there.
Is that line good enough does it matter between Brown or Huklinski?
Their line is pretty good. Last year it was great. I think they got maybe their two best starters returning, and Cade Pieper, which came from Nebraska. He's going to go to North Dakota State. And Trevor Lauk at left tackle, who's one of the 2 or 3 best in the country at his position too. And dare I say, and I don't say this very often, they actually have pass catchers, which is shocking in Iowa City. But for in Iowa's case, I would say it comes down to quarterback and how they fill the defensive line, whether or not they're going to be merely good. I think they'll be at least good, or will they be playoff contender good? And I don't know that answer right now.
Scott, I'm not going to hold you to the rankings of the list because obviously I know it wasn't you specifically that put this together, but they've got Anthony Colandrea at 39. If that's accurate, let's just assume they're right. Okay, Anthony Colandrea is a top 40 quarterback in the country. What does that mean for Nebraska's season?
I think it means that they win the games that they should win, or the even type games. Meaning the beat the opponents they should beat. And I think you look at the top 5 to me are games that, particularly 4 of them are games they should win. And then I think at Michigan State, it kind of remains to be seen what Pat Fitzgerald does right away. But if if you think that he's a top 40 quarterback, and our people do, and he's proved last year that he's capable of that, and maybe he fits the system a little bit better, than Raiola did. I mean, even though he had a phenomenal talent, that I think you look at it and go, okay, there's a decent chance they should be 5-0. And then you look at some of the other games on the schedule, whether it's Illinois and Rutgers in particular, seem to be games that, Illinois has lost a lot of people. They're at Rutgers. They're they fight if nothing else. But I think you look at those games and think if you got a top 40 quarterback, you should at least be 7-5, and then competitive in maybe the games against Washington and Iowa, potentially Indiana, Oregon, and Ohio State. Well, we won't go there yet. I think those are 3 of the top 5 best teams in the country, but. It should put you in a position to win at least 7 games, let's say. And I think he's capable of that. We'll just have to see how that translates to the Big Ten.
That
Man.
is,
Man, Doc, your evolution to go 30,000 out in the last couple of years is, well, it is fascinating, man. It's pretty impressive, man. You keep a lot in the Rolodex, man. Awful good.
Well, thanks. It's been challenging, to go from knowing a lot about a little to trying my best to learn a lot about, or a little about a lot. So hopefully I'm doing the right job.
The delivery makes it easy, man. A lot of humility. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate talking, and hopefully we'll get to catch up next week at Big Ten Media Days.
You got it. We'll see you there.
Okay.
that is Scott Dochterman from The Athletic. Terrific stuff as always.
They did stand pat with
Iowa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Huklinski and Hank Brown.
Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Hank Brown's probably the more prototypical passer.
Yeah.
Huklinski's obviously the dual threat
A little
guy.
bit more mobile.
Yeah. That's fascinating because it doesn't matter what you say up until Nebraska plays that game.
Yeah. Nothing at all matters.
It matters very, very little.
If you were Texas Tech,
okay,
would you rather have Anthony Colandrea
for this offense? Colandrea.
Jaden Craig or Anthony Colandrea?
They're close. Colandrea. How far apart are they in the rankings? They have to be close.
They're all very close. Hauser's 41, Colandrea's 39.
Okay, because that's my pause.
Craig is 38, Johnson is 37,
far,
Colton Joseph is 36, Will Hammond is 35.
So far, without knowing what their rankings are, I get why they're in the same
in the same neighborhood.
Whether we think they're high or low or whatever.
Yeah,
because I'm having to think.
Alternate universe, Minchie or Colandrea.
So I was high on Minchie for what they needed in the room,
and I think they're very high on his talent. I think but we have basically zero track record of him playing Division I football.
That's the thing that's
really hard. That's what makes this really hard.
Like I've eaten Colandrea's tape up.
But we have basically no tape. We have very, very little tape on Minchie.
Based on production, I have to take Colandrea, but I could see the infatuation with Minchie for sure.
Here's an interesting one. He's a little bit further up in the rankings. Austin Simmons or Anthony Colandrea?
See, I don't like Simmons.
I don't either. People are still very high. He's at 26 as a guy that
I just don't know. So, and I say that, let me give context because people are very literal. It's not that I don't like Simmons. It's that it gives me pause that Kiffin couldn't make him work.
Mm-hmm. He is still only thrown 107 passes.
Yeah, like
in his career.
It's not that I don't like him.
It is concerning.
That's awful high.
For a guy that has 107 total passes, was 4 touchdowns and
What's
5
his completion percentage?
Dead at 60. Within a Kiffin offense,
62 out of 107.
That's terrible. In a Kiffin offense, that's pretty bad. Like he makes it pretty easy to throw the football.
DB, based on the tape, what's the ceiling for Colandrea? I think Colandrea should be like a 28-10 guy.
Okay. I think that would be a few 23-10 last year, I think.
23-9.
9.
I think he should be
last year.
That's how he strikes me.
That sounds about right. I was assuming about 1 interception a game, maybe a little less in the non-con. So 10 is in the neighborhood. Based on stylistically how he kind of likes to. Yeah, he was 23-9 last year. But he did, I believe, have 10 rushing touchdowns.
He's playing behind what appears to be a significantly better offensive line.
I would agree. And he's gonna have lots of options.
Super tough conference, though.
Super tough conference. Gonna have some options at playmaker. It's an interesting conversation because I think we talk about
who's there. Who was rated? Who did they have won? Manning.
For the entire country. Let's see here. Let me scroll back up to the top.
I hang it with Manning.
It is Chambliss.
Where was
Manning? Is 7. They've got Mestamaker ahead of Manning.
Was CJ Carr ahead of Manning?
Yes, he's 3rd.
CJ Carr is intriguing.
So it goes Chambliss, Dante Moore, CJ Carr.
God, the Dante Moore thing is fascinating.
So there's a few here that I'm I don't know if skeptical, I think is the right word. It's not that I don't like them.
It's a heck of a list.
Dante Moore is really interesting because of his difference in big games versus.
Do you want to send that over to the guys?
Yeah.
I don't know how quick.
I don't know, but let's take a break. Let's take a break. Give a chance to see if we can get it up there.
There are so many good quarterbacks.
There's the list, guys. Let's see if we can get a chance to get that up on the screen. We'll take a quick break. We'll dive back into this because, I mean, you get down to there's some of the guys in 2nd and 3rd tiers that I think are probably belong in the 1st tier or at least
go through it
higher than some of the guys that we're talking about here. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live. We'll be right back.
It's time to sizzle into summer at Edwards Kia. Lease the 2026 Kia Sportage EX starting at $249 a month. Turn up the heat on your next lease. This July, the savings are as hot as the season. We've also got the 2027 Kia Telluride S starting at $449 a month. Don't wait. Sizzle into summer this July at Edwards Kia. It pays to make the drive to Edwards Kia.
I'm not just super duper athletic. Like I had to work for what I had. Like I like to say I'm like an average white kid who's like 5'10". I got these muscles from lifting. Like freshman year, well, it goes back farther than that. Like 7th and 8th grade, my dad's a PE teacher in the winter. He's ground screw in the summer, PE teacher in the winter. And we would go to Kellam Elementary, and we'd show up there 5 days a week. It was 6 a.m., so we'd wake up at like 5:15, and we'd walk in, and there's a little janitor there. He was awesome, and his name was Puspa. And he'd say, "Let them sleep," like to us. Like he was telling my dad to let us sleep because it was so early in the morning. But we'd be working out there 5 days a week, all fall and winter, doing Florida Baseball Ranch, driveline stuff. Right before school, and we'd go to Our Lady of Lourdes, and then you hit your freshman year of high school and kind of hit the ground running with weightlifting and stuff, and then you really start to get some muscles. And I haven't hit puberty yet. And then you get sophomore year, you hit puberty and you're working hard and stuff just kind of starts to develop. There are a lot of early morning infield workouts, a lot of teammates, a lot of Florida baseball ranch stuff, getting screened on my body, seeing what I need to work on. But any kid can do it. You really can. Like I never had family who played professional baseball before. I never had a family member who played Division I baseball before. I not came from nothing, but like you don't have family members who have done that before. So you didn't really know. It's just my dad's research. So anyone can do it with the right research and the right resources. You got to put the work in.
If losing weight is harder than you expected, it's not just about willpower. At NextGen Male Medical Clinic, we build a supervised plan around your body, not someone else's. Schedule a visit at nextgenmmc.com. Let's get you moving forward. Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ, reminding you Union Omaha is hosting FC Juarez for an international friendly this Saturday night at Morrison Stadium. And this match day festivities start early at Sonny's. Join us at Sonny's in the Builders District at 3 p.m. for the official pregame tailgate featuring drink specials and more than ever before heading over to the stadium. The tailgate starts at 3 at Sonny's, followed by Union Omaha versus FC Juarez at 6 p.m. at Morrison Stadium. Start your day at Sonny's and end it at Morrison under the lights to cheer on the Owls. Get your tickets at unionomaha.com. Got a little Juarez. You know, if you're still feeling in the World Cup mood, want to watch some more soccer, there you go.
I like soccer.
A little international friendly with Union Omaha.
It's going to be very competitive for sports time here shortly, though.
It's true. Yeah, the calendar starts to squeeze us a little bit on some of our recreational watch habits.
So Arch, he says, I just call him Arch. It's really Archer's 84. Sand in year 2 under day will kill it. Everybody keeps telling me that.
What's your hesitation or what's your pause with saying specifically?
Sometimes I just think, and maybe it works for them, but the simplicity in which they run their offense, I think,
allows you to scout it a little bit.
People are kind of on it, like competition.
Sure,
is on to.
Okay, so they still have the.
So
advantage
he's going to have to make some plays. He's going to have to make some.
Can't just stay in system and hope to win.
He's going to have to. I think he's going to have to make some plays this year. That evolution will be interesting to watch. Do we lose? Is our volume back or no?
I think they can hear us.
Yeah, you guys
Okay.
are good.
That was a while ago. That's when Action Jackson gave me this.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
So Rico's working on the list, and I believe they've got tier 1 ready to go to show us here. As we mentioned, it's Trinidad Chambliss, Dante Moore, CJ Carr, Darian Mensah, Julian Sand, Drew Mestemaker, Arch Manning, and Sam Levitt. I was surprised Levitt was included in.
People love Levitt.
So there were 2 guys here I was surprised were included in tier 1.
Let me guess.
Go ahead.
Sand and Levitt.
Actually, Mestemaker and Levitt. You know me, I have a hesitation assuming production translation from a North Texas type to
we definitely don't need to go through your Mateer hate
Big
again.
12 SEC. Now, your chances are probably best in the Big 12 of the Power 4 conferences, I think, to make that jump. I'm not
do you like Sunga Polote? Polote?
I'll be honest, I probably didn't watch enough Cal last year to have a super strong opinion on him. I think what I saw, I liked. I don't know that he's going to be. Well, I think they've got him in tier 2. I think they've got him at like number 10. No, they've got 14. I don't know if he's going to be the 14th best quarterback in the country, but I also don't think Marcel Reed's the 13th best quarterback in the country. The one that I think is probably criminally low here.
So Ben, he might have been. These are kind of those I agree, Jeremy.
Can you bring up tier 2 for us, guys?
We're both high on CJ Bailey. So BP says, I thought Levitt was the top guy in the portal. That's okay. That's people's opinion. But of those guys in the top tier, it's only he or Mensah.
Also,
because everybody else is still with their respective teams.
I mean, or Mestemaker, technically, I guess, as well.
Well, it wasn't going to be I'm talking about of P4 guys.
Oh, sure. Okay, yeah, sure. I mean, it would have been Sorsby was in that conversation as well.
Which I don't think would have been a tier 1 thing.
He's
probably closer to this group.
I wouldn't have thought so
Even
either.
though Stockton needs to probably be
So that's
higher.
the guy that I said is probably criminally underrated here. Like, I don't think you can have Stockton only 2 spots ahead of Marcel Reed.
Yes.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, Stockton is outstanding.
I think he's better than Maeva. I think he's better than Levitt. I think I trust him more than Mensah.
He's better than Fafita too.
Oh yeah, 100%. Absolutely.
Like Stockton did it against elite guys.
Absolutely. Like
I don't know, but you know I'm high on Stockton, so you're just hearing my.
I think because we don't love him as a pro prospect, that we knock him in things like this, and I don't think that's fair necessarily.
I know one guy that is pretty low that I'm high on. I still think.
You want Stockton's numbers last year, real quick?
Yeah, because
70% completion percentage, 2,900 yards, 24 touchdowns, 5 picks.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
And we can't even name a wide receiver.
And
they asked Kirby Smart about his wide receiving group again this year.
Yeah, and he roasted him for it a little
famously
bit.
said, "You guys keep underrating them. I'll keep motivating."
Yeah,
them.
he's like, "Thank you for helping motivate my team." But he also, I mean, Stockton more mobile than people give him.
Because remember when he had to play against the year before?
Yeah,
all he could do was run around, and people thought it cost him the game.
He's had 10 rushing touchdowns last year too.
Listen, you don't got to sell. I'm selling you on Stockton the last month.
I mean, I think he's definitely underrated in this particular list.
You need to take a flyer on Jennings. Jennings will be outstanding.
I struggle with Jennings. I watch a lot of SMU football. I have a weird fascination. I like Rhett Lashley. I have a weird fascination with the SMU program in general, going back to like the June Jones days. I don't love his decision making.
Kevin Jennings helped me and Austin win the quarterback draft.
Yeah, he was crushing us every.
He's a great.
week.
He's
Dudes
a
were
great.
getting like 20 points.
He's a great fantasy football quarterback. I don't like when I'm watching them rooting for SMU because I weirdly like SMU. I don't like his decision making. It makes me. I don't trust him. It makes me uncomfortable. I don't know what it is. I just.
Yeah, Stockton is criminally low.
I mean, didn't he lead the ACC in picks last year?
Who?
Jennings?
I don't think so. Led them in picks?
I think so.
I don't know.
Let me bring it up real quick.
Boy, don't bet me on that.
He had 13 last year. Led the conference with 13 picks.
Wow, 13 led?
I mean, I get that's not a crazy amount, but for the way we're talking about this guy as one of the top quarterbacks in the country, like I don't love his decision making.
Yeah, he's got to be really good.
That's fine. He's going to put up really good numbers. They're going to win a decent amount of games. When he has to make throws in really high leverage situations, I do not trust his decision making.
So there's Sangapalote
at 14 there. I don't. Weirdly enough, I don't.
Wow, Fafita's ahead of him. But I liked Fafita 2 years ago, but everybody was like, hey, his lifeline is up in Washington now coaching. Remember, that was Fish's big deal, and he was going to try to get Fafita to go with him.
I mean, Fafita had a really good year last year.
Did you listen to Did I send you the Mateer clips?
Yeah. He sounded like he was struggling to answer that question with.
Was that the Hurrdat? Is that our text?
Yeah. With
or was that just you?
No, that was all of us.
That was all of us. I listened to it and I wasn't really sure what was happening.
Sounded like he was struggling to perform whole sentences.
I don't know.
Maybe he's just really nervous in front of the meeting.
Yeah, could have been. I don't want to.
That's the best.
I almost went in.
Yeah, that's the best case scenario is that he's nervous, which again, for a quarterback, not really that good of a case scenario. If you're afraid of reporters, that doesn't really bode well for you. I do think as I'm looking here, I do think Mateer might be a little underrated now.
Well, CJ Bailey needs to be.
Bailey's way low. And tier 3 is crazy for CJ Bailey. I'm going to look up his numbers real quick, just so I've got him.
NC State is a legit dark horse.
I have your CJ Bailey numbers if you want them.
What's that?
He's got.
I have your CJ Bailey numbers if you want them.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
What do we got?
3,105 passing yards, 68.8 completion percentage, 25 touchdowns, 9 picks.
He's going to be way good.
Only a 2.3% interception percentage, which is low.
He's
like he threw the ball a ton last year. He threw the ball almost 400 times.
Way good.
Basically, that's less than one interception every 40 attempts, basically.
And he's got elite size.
Yeah, he's like 6'6".
He's
huge.
got elite
He's
size.
a little lean for me, but he doesn't take off a ton. I mean,
no. So that's kind of the name of the game with some of these dual threat guys is just how big they are.
Yeah.
It's a lot of 6'4", 6'5", 225, 230s.
Mm-hmm.
He only had 215 rushing yards, but he had 6 rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys, EAC, that kind of, I don't know if he wakes up in bed and is like, I'm a pocket passer. I'm not going to subscribe to the black mobile quarterback stereotype. But he does very much strike me as a guy that wants to chuck it first.
He kind of reminds me of Nico in that sense.
Yeah.
Similar builds.
Yeah.
Nico wouldn't run at all until last year, basically.
I'm telling you, Nico's bigger in person. I told you that, right?
You did. Yeah, last year you told me that.
I get it. He looks like a drinking straw, but he's really not. B-Mac and I watched him warm up close before they put pads on, and he's a good-sized, big kid.
He's listed at
215, probably 220, 215. I bet.
Let me see. So CJ's listed at.
I'm talking about Iamali.
No, I'm just for comparison. CJ's listed at 6'6", 190. So he's lean. He's listed at 215, 6'5", 215 for Iamaliava. So that's I will say okay. So I'm just bouncing around here.
Bouncing around is good.
Are you taking Malik Washington or Rocco Becht?
Oh, I'm taking Malik Washington.
Okay. Are you taking Malik Washington?
I'm not as high on Rocco Becht as some other people.
As some people are. Okay. Are you taking Malik Washington or Devin Dampier?
It's tough. I have PTSD. Damp was so good.
Dampier's really good.
This year,
yeah,
I'll probably take Malik. Boy, that's tough.
Taking Malik Washington or Damon Williams?
Damn it. Damon Williams.
Are you taking Malik Washington or Nico?
Jeez. Probably Nico. How close are they in the rankings?
Malik is 21, Nico's 25.
Okay.
So they're in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
You taking Damon Williams or Nico?
Williams.
Okay. Are you taking Nico or Byron Brown?
Byron Brown in Auburn is going to be sensational.
You're pretty high on Brown this year. You've brought him up to me multiple times.
Yep, I know, and I'm telling you, Auburn is going to. There's gonna be like 2 weeks where somebody's gonna get upset by Auburn, and it's gonna ruin their season. Nico or Brown, is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Give me Nico.
Bryce Underwood or Malik Washington?
Oh.
Situation, I think, matters here a lot.
Give me Malik.
Okay.
I need.
You like him better as a quarterback, or you think he has a better year?
I like him better as a quarterback.
Because I think Bryce might have a better year.
Yeah, he should.
He's got the context matters there.
And yeah, Bryce should have the better year. This is weird because it's Michigan, and I hope they lose every game because they're in the conference. But the criticism of Underwood, and it started with Weddle and some other guys. I'm hoping he's better than his critics say. I'm just cheering for him because nobody thinks he's any good. It's dumb.
No, I get it. I'm honestly.
I actually. This is weird to say for Michigan. I actually think they're a dark horse.
Is this the most?
They're not getting enough run as a team that could be towards the top. That secondary is elite. That D line will be pretty good. Man, I think we're sleeping on Michigan.
I mean, I'm not, because I know what
I think we're sleeping on Michigan. We cram those top 3 teams in, and it's like
Whittingham is as good of a coach as there is in the country. I will die on that hill.
And everybody kind of gets in where they fit in after that, but Michigan's pretty good.
Is Bryce Underwood the most talented quarterback that Kyle Whittingham's ever had as a head coach?
As a head coach, talent? Ooh, baby. Yeah.
Pretty clearly, right?
Yeah, he is.
Jason Beck's pretty good at what he does, especially with mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah, I know you love you some Beck.
Okay. Bryce Underwood could have a really good year.
Listen, Arch, that's what we're talking about.
Bryce Underwood could have a really good year.
What you're saying is what almost everybody thinks. He has got a ton of detractors.
Yeah.
But
I've
almost yelled at you about the talented quarterback.
Listen, did people see the quarterbacks that Beck and Whittingham shuttled in and out last year for Utah?
Also, Bryce isn't a worse passer than Devin Dampier.
Dampier doesn't strike you as Montana back there.
No, that's my point. Is he's not a worse passer than
Devin
what I mean?
Dampier. And they both were kind of the same at the quarterback spot.
That's
at
my
Utah.
point. Bryce Underwood is basically I think, slightly more talented version of Devin Dampier.
I just think Michigan's better than we're talking.
I also know what it's like starting a true freshman in this conference, and
that's just ludicrous, Arch. That's just. This is like hot take day
for the podcast listeners.
Go ahead, you can put it back up.
He said.
He said Underwood is
Devin Gardner.
Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
That's just rude.
I'm not doing that.
Whittingham missed Alex Smith by a year as the head coach at Utah.
Yeah.
That's
the only reason I had.
That's why I clarified head coach.
Yeah.
I know he was on staff with Urban. I'm aware.
That's why I had to pause.
I'm an Alex Smith guy. I know.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm an Alex Smith guy. I know. I know exactly how that timed up. Urban Meyer left for Florida right after the Sugar Bowl, where Utah they beat the hell out of somebody. Hawaii maybe was 05, if I'm remembering right. And then Kyle Whittingham took over right after that. He was never the head coach for Alex Smith. I'm aware. I know what I said. Oh, I don't need your consternation over there, Rico.
I just had to check.
Listen, if anybody in the state of Nebraska is going to be accurate on Kyle Whittingham and
Alex Smith, it would be this dude.
You're probably talking to him.
And Alex Smith honk. And
I know a guy.
Whittingham to be our head coach.
I did. I
know. I remember. I clearly remember.
I love Kyle Whittingham.
And shoot, 5 years ago, you asked, well, why do people think he's too old? It was 6 years. It was the 18-19 cycle.
Yeah, it was pre-Frost.
Yeah,
it was pre-Frost. Which at the time, let's just check real quick. How old was Kyle Whittingham?
I think he was 54, maybe 5.
I think you're right. I think he was
somewhere around there
mid-50s.
Because I remember you not being.
He's 66 now, so he'd have been 57, 58.
Yeah.
People are like, well, he's like, hey,
he's
pretty good.
Do you want to know how many games he won each year since that 2019 cycle?
A lot. He has won a lot.
Oh, God.
11 and 19, COVID. 10 and 21, 10 and 22, 8 and 23, 5 and 24, and 10 and 25.
That's when they had like an 8th string linebacker playing quarterback for him, and they still won 5 games.
Well, that's when they started to kind of move him out.
Well,
or think about doing something different.
It was the Cam Rising. They couldn't get Cam Rising healthy, and then the next 3 quarterbacks got hurt. It's like, you've caught a snap before. Would you like to play quarterback at the University of Utah?
Hey, Ravi, you have any eligibility left?
I got 1 year.
He was staunch on Whittingham.
He's one of the best football coaches in the country. I don't know what
I've always liked Whittingham in Utah. I think they're the most Big Ten team, not the Big Ten.
It's funny now.
Yeah.
It was weird then.
Yeah, I was just early. People respect him now. Like, people, I think, understand what type of football coach he is now. I said this when...
Did you drop the how old was Coach Solich on me?
I did ask, I think.
Because I think you were giving the comparison for taking over.
Yeah. I think because Frank was mid-50s when he took over. Yeah. Like, we act like 58 is 80.
There were some funny conversations. That's back when I was like, I don't even know if I'm going to like this guy.
What do you mean?
Well, that's
back
true. We're
when?
like, we fast forward. I'm still like, I don't know if I'm going to like this guy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Corey's funny.
Yeah, I'll take my chances.
Raise you, Bill Bush.
I'll take my chances. No, I think the Bryce Underwood thing is fascinating this year. That's one that I am very interested in.
Can I just say this?
Yeah.
The Stockton thing is laughable.
Yeah, 11 is crazy.
That's laughable.
Like, if we're talking about just being a college quarterback, it's got to be top 5.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the top 5.
Stockton is, if I had to win tomorrow, is anybody,
if I had to win,
maybe they would take Levitt over Stockton, but I wouldn't.
I wouldn't. So here's the question with,
does it against elite level competition?
So I will, I'll give a little bit of context here. If there is a situation where I'm probably a little outmanned, I may want a quarterback that gives me like a higher, just, hey, like Chambliss in the playoff last year gave you a level of playmaking that very few people are capable of. Now, I don't know if he can do that consistently enough to get them back to where they were last year.
Yeah, but Levitt's 2024 season, which everybody was excited about, is not better than.
Oh, I'm certainly not taking him over Levitt.
It's not Stockton's
last year,
2025.
Yeah. The only guys,
although I think the touchdowns, the interceptions are probably the same. Did you say Stockton was 24-6?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 2024 Levitt.
Which is,
and I think 2024 Levitt threw for 2,800 yards.
I'll look it up. I got you.
2850.
All right, 2024 Levitt 2885, and he was 24-6.
Okay. And last year his
completion percentage was lower too. His completion was
61%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Studied it.
Yeah, he's
last year. He's Rico. Sam Levitt, and I'll take this. This isn't horrible. This is pretty good. He threw for 1,600 yards. He was 3.5 to 1 TDs to interceptions. 10 to 3.
10 to 3. But still only 61% completion.
So, I just think it needed context for BP when he said he was the number one portal quarterback. I mean, Power 4 on the move. I get it. It was him and basically Mensa in that discussion.
And Damon for like a week.
And some people would have Mensa as the Heisman favorite.
For context,
right? Is that
no? I think that's fair. I think it's like
AJ. While we're talking, can you look up the odds for the Heisman favorites this year?
If I had to guess, Chambliss probably beats him. It's probably like
man. I bet Mensa's. I bet Mensa has better odds than Chambliss.
You think so?
It's probably close, but
I would say Chambliss, Manning.
I mean, doesn't Mensa get the Ward Beck bump?
Number one, CJ Carr.
Oh.
No, just between the two.
Yeah, where is he compared to Chambliss?
He said 1 moment.
For context,
1 moment.
Stockton was 70%, 2,900 yards, 24 and 5 last year. So,
all right, that is so small. I am screwed. I better use
all right. So CJ Carr at plus 750, Arch Manning at plus 750, Dante Moore at plus 1,100, Sayin at plus 1,100.
So Mensa is Mensa and Chambliss are the same.
Are the same at plus 1,100. Hoover's plus 1,200, Jeremiah Smith, but Gunnar Stockton's plus 1,800.
How much pressure you think is on Dante Moore?
Oh, pretty good amount.
We heard top pick in the draft potential. They think they have the best
roster in the country. Like it's going to be a pretty tough look for Dan Lanning if he doesn't win a national championship this year. Like
they say that about the Oregon quarterback and head coach every year.
No, I don't think they do. I
feel like it's been like that for at least the past 5 years.
I think last year, at least with Dante Moore, you had the question of, hey, like he wasn't awesome at UCLA. He sat for a year. Like you didn't have the, hey, he's actually really good and coming back. They thought that about the roster. I think people thought that Oregon could win a national title this year. This year, it almost feels like Ohio State in the, hey, if you don't win a national title, like, so what happened? As opposed to, like, that to me is a different mindset of you could win a national title versus you should win a national title. And I think Oregon has moved itself into should win a national title category. And that's a different place for Lanning and Moore to be. I don't think that's a place they've been before. I don't think it's a place Oregon's really been before. Is should win a national title.
Did you
see what the year that Dante transferred in? Who he was sitting behind? Old boy from Oklahoma.
Oh, Dylan Gabriel.
Did you see AMAC's list of the coaching candidates of the top coaches? I think he sent it to both of us.
Oh, in the conference?
Yeah, he had Lanning.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So was that? No, I think that was nationally, or was it just in the conference?
Let me check real quick here. See if I can find it.
Because I think this is where Matrix Analytics had them ranked.
So, Adam, where you at, buddy?
I know. Was it that? Man, I got too many. God dang. Oh, there it is. I got it. He's got Sig, Day, Smart.
Yeah, so it's national because it's
Sig, Day, Smart, DeBoer, Lanning, Freeman. This is on the heels of me thinking 4 was low on Freeman. I just don't know if I would. If I had to win tomorrow, am I taking?
I'm taking Freeman. I'm taking Freeman over DeBoer and Lanning, and I've been very high on DeBoer. I'm taking Freeman over both those guys.
That seems awful high for Kalen.
The work that he had done previously, I think, because they do long term, right?
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of our rankings are sort of snapshots.
But they keep wanting. Before he got the extension, they kept wanting to fire him after the first 2.
I understand that. They still made a college football playoff last year. I think.
I know. I was very texty tweety that Sunday morning.
I definitely take Smart over Day.
Me too.
So they've got Day second. I would take Smart over Day. I might take Freeman over Day if I'm like starting a program. I like Freeman more. I do appreciate Day, I think, more than most people do, though.
You remember the stretch that Oregon had in like the late 2000s and like that 10, 11, that
The
8 through
Mariota,
and,
like
and they
basically
had won
Dennis
through
Dixon
more games
through-
in the country than anybody, and
Like-
hadn't recruited in the top 20.
Like Dixon through Mariota, basically. Yeah.
So I want to ask this question with that context.
Mm-hmm.
Relative to those heights.
Yeah.
Lanning's elevated the program, right?
I think so, yes. I believe that to be true. I think we take...
What would Oregon fans say is peak Oregon? Let me ask it that way.
I think they would say Mariota national championship game.
Okay.
That'd be my guess. Is Mariota national championship game is peak Oregon. I personally think as a program...
What is wrong with my internet?
As a program, I think this is the best team they've had. Or the best the program has been.
It's talent top to bottom.
Talent top to bottom. They're in a better conference now.
Yeah.
Pac-12 in the mid 2010s. Like I get the last
I understand what comes with it.
Yeah, like I understand last couple years in the Pac-12 they were really, really good, and all those teams play in the Big Ten now. But like, except for Utah, but like mid 2010s Pac-12 is not, so that's why I say within the context of the conference, the talent level, and the expectations, I do think Dan Lanning has this.
You get that stretch of USC?
What do you mean?
You're talking about the Pac-12.
No, I was only talking about Oregon.
No, I know, but you're
Yeah.
talking about them within the conference.
In like the mid 2010s?
Yeah, because one of the things that makes the Big Ten as good as it is the addition of
of SC.
Oregon and SC.
Yeah, I agree. But there wasn't like the depth of of in the Pac-12, right? You had they would get up for like one or two huge games a year.
That's a fantastic question, Arch. For those that are potting, do I trust the new coordinators? I don't know.
That's the $1 million question. Will Stein, I think, was a really big part of what they were doing there. Obviously,
I just asked him.
It's me. So that's a huge part of it. Old boy's name that went to Cal, whose name is escaping me right now.
Yep.
That's a huge part of what they were doing defensively, obviously.
Which, by the way, that game is a toss-up. We talked about UCLA and Cal.
Yeah, that's a 1.5 point, I think. Spread early.
I'm surprised.
You think UCLA? You thought it was going to be UCLA by more?
Yep.
I think Cal's the favorite.
I know.
Yeah, that's. I don't know. Looking at Oregon in their recent history, I think this is the best spot the program has been in.
This is hilarious, but it's probably accurate with TG. Day's a very good head coach when he's just a head coach. He struggles when he tries play calling while being the head coach. It's hard for Day not to get the national credit he deserves for as much as he wins.
So that's the thing that I land on with him. Like, I understand all the advantages he has. I do. I understand the place that he was put in. I understand all of that. I also understand a lot of guys fail in that situation.
Yeah.
More guys fail in that situation than succeed. I mean, how many times have we seen that a coach wins a national championship at a program, leaves, retires, whatever. The next guy tends to not work. I mean, almost unequivocally, the next guy doesn't work. You very rarely have two coaches back to back that you hire, each of which win a national championship. And on the times that it has worked, the gap, like Bobby Bowden and Jimbo Fisher both won national titles, but there was like a 15-year gap in between those titles, and Bobby Bowden wasn't Bobby Bowden by the end.
Was 14 Jimbo's first?
13. So 14 years in between, 99 to 13. Yeah. But the last 8 years of that, Bobby Bowden wasn't Bobby Bowden. And so, like, it's not exactly a one-to-one. Like, Ohio State was still humming when Urban Meyer leaves. There's not very many of those, whether it's Urban Meyer, whether it's Tom Osborne, whether it's Pete Carroll, whether whoever, pick anybody, pick any guy. Like, we're seeing it right now with Alabama, right? With Saban and DeBoer. Like, pick any guy, Mac Brown at Texas, And Mac Brown even fell off, right? But they've struggled to find head coaches until they got Steve Sarkisian. There's just almost no one succeeds in the situation that Ryan Day was given. So I have to take that into account, even with all the advantages he's got.
I'm with you.
That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back tomorrow. Apparently Shane's done working today, so we're gone.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.